Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, your local game guy, and today I'm joined by Mons. Hey, Mons, how are you?
Hi, Patrick. I'm good. Happy to be here and ready for some magic.
Nice. Yes, you might recognize him from cEDH TV. That's because he is the host there. You can catch him doing gameplay, deck techs, and more on Magic the Gathering over there, should you like. But today I'm borrowing him as my regular co-host, Will. I can't make it today. However, we are going to go through the entire legendary roster from Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, Universes Beyond, Magic the Gathering, x LOTR, and let you know which legendaries you should be looking out for to play either in the 99 and or as your commander. And before we jump into this one, I guess I can go over the criteria we're going to be grading these on first so that everyone knows before we officially start. It's the same thing we did last time, except this go around, we are going to add the visual identifier of D tier. Last time we just went S, A, B, C, Mons, and then we said if it's D, it's just not going to go on the list because why waste the space, right? Today, though, but ultimately when I I'm going to screenshot this for you guys afterwards and just put it in a community post. That way, I think most people, that was easier to digest, like just seeing them all splayed out. But a lot of people are confused as to where some legendaries went. So I'll try to make sure that those wind up on the D tier for you. But S tier, something that's immediately cEDH viable, right? So I think we can all look at Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin from the previous tier list and say, okay, that's immediately, I can see that being played. I can see that winning a tournament. There's a lot of synergy for that card. It's in Rakdos, has all the rituals. It's going to do all the things it wants to do. I can see that competing. A is something that's competitively viable. And I should also note that if there's a card that's equally good in the 99, we'll be critiquing on that as well. And this should also be noted that this is all coming from the perspective of a cEDH player or commander players in general, right? So that's how we're critiquing these. If one of these is good in modern, then you can let us know, but we're not altogether too concerned with that. I realize that my chat is closed over here. I want to make sure I can see you guys. Cool. Hello, LGG. How you doing? I'm really good, Mr. D. So A is competitively viable, but does require some workaround. Like, it's not going to be the best in those colors. However, it does have a strategy or play lines that can be implemented with it that will work in a competitive setting. A B is something that's situationally viable. It might be that really good monocolored commander. It has like a one card combo, but by virtue of the fact that it's in fewer colors, maybe hampered by that, right? So like the play lines are harder to hit. So something that's like a build around competitive list, something that's situationally viable. And we can point at a few from today's as well. But C, strictly casual, something that I don't imagine seeing play in a competitive setting. And, I don't know if you play much casual. It's always nice having Willow on because he plays a diversity, like a range of commander. Different budgets at his LGS. Not everyone can afford to play with everything, so he brings casual list as well. So maybe you can fill me in on your thoughts on what it might be more casual than competitive, Mons. But I feel like
that's a very
I was gonna say
that's a hard question. I mean, because the range in casual power level is so much varying, even more.
Right.
Like you can say, I can bring a deck that is like weak, that won't work in cEDH, but it will still stomp some casual players. So it's like very, very hard.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a mind for it. Something like Build a Pony is probably just D, unplayable, but I would say that it could potentially be C because you could build a combo around it. It does have combo potential, and maybe like a casual table would see that.
We should have a meme tier list.
Oh, well,
or a fun like bad but fun.
I would say bad but fun and or casual, maybe slots into C. And then D is strictly unplayable. D is dog water. D is the stuff that you should... It's either in a color pair and does a thing similar to a different list, but you should just be playing the other list.
How about a tier section that is bad as D, but fun? Like, you want it to work, but it won't work, but it's fun. Those cards exist.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm trying to see where we can just naturally slot those in. I feel like what I'll do is I'll keep a partition, and then I'll just have them off to the side of D or off to the side of C.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
So if you guys can can see. I'll actually switch to the mainstream now. I have a tier list going for us. Again, those same categories, S, A, B, C, D. And I like what Mons is saying. I might shrink our cameras if we actually go that wide. Last time we did not go that far to the side, because I'm going to layer these. But I'll keep a little partition at the bottom of C, I would say. And we can keep all the fun playable cards over there. Let me see here. I'm stoked, and we'll do a stream all about rates, not competitive, but we got 3 commanders for them now. Yeah, we did get rates. A 5-drop Witch King is not bad for commander. I'm seeing people brew Witch King. I don't know how effective it'll be, but I guess we can talk about that. Have you brewed for any of these yet, Mons?
We have brewed. I've built Smeagol and played Smeagol.
Is this the Golgari one?
Yeah, Golgari one. I wanted to try out and feel how he works, like in cEDH pods. I made a review for him basically where I said he is doing something good and he's doing something bad. So you need to make sure that you're not doing the bad thing and making sure you're doing the good thing. But I also said, like, I'm skeptic this isn't really going to work out. But he kind of felt fun and flowy. We also played Sauron.
Which the
Sauron
or Grixis?
The Grixis one, obviously. The 6-mana one that is actually like wheeling yourself for 4 cards. That's actually pretty good. We found that the army is growing really big, really fast. So Sauron, I'm just going to say straight down is good already right now.
Right.
But we'll get to that.
But Grixis Sauron, a refresh my memory, you amass orcs when someone casts a spell, right?
Yeah. They get big very fast.
Your opponents, at least, not yourself.
Yes. But it usually be like the format is so like proactive. People are usually casting 1 to 3 spells a turn. So in a turn cycle, it will be something like a 6/9 already once it gets back to you, and you just attack someone that don't want to block it, and you're gonna get your wheel effect.
That's not bad. I'd be curious to see that played out. We just did some live stream gameplay the other day with a group called One Mana Short that streams on Twitch.
Yeah.
And one of their players, Dale, was on I thought he was playing the Grixis Sauron, but he actually made a Rakdos Sauron, which is like a World Gorger Dockside. It's just it's just an outlet in the command zone, essentially, that puts you in Rakdos. But that was fun to see. I would say the Sauron, the Grixis one, I mean, obviously you're a really great part of the color pie, but also it feels almost impossible to remove, or like no one's going to want to do that. And then I imagine the amassing is useful. Do
you want to talk about him more focused now, or do we get there when we get there?
We'll get there when we get there, I guess.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, but I think it's officially ready to start. Thanks everyone for pouring in. Hi, welcome. If you see the Q&A up there, feel free to respond to it. I'm curious as to how many legends you feel are going to make it from the set into that S tier. Something that's just completely competitively viable. I don't know how many from this set will. Say maybe like 1 to 2, if any at all. But I'm very curious to hear your opinion on the legends from this set. So just a prediction before we actually jump into this one. And Eric, great live stream. cEDH TV is here. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's... Hi, cEDH TV.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Let's go ahead and get this one started. We're not going to make this stream 4 hours like last time. We're going to try to condense this down to a minimum of 2 hours. But you guys really hung out last time we did this. I mean, we had a good like 30, 40 people on average, like for the whole thing. So see if we can do that again. But I think it's time to officially start.
I have a feeling we're going to sit and talk about various things a little bit too much, but we're going to try.
It happens. I don't have like a timer or anything, but I'll keep my eye on the clock. But hey guys, I'm Patrick Marlette, your local game guy, and today we're going to be tearing up the legendaries from Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth, and today I'm joined by Mons from cEDH TV. He's going to help us determine all of these legendaries, where they fit in our list. If you're watching the show before the show, we already went over the tier list. You can see the tier list on the screen right now. We're going to use Kapwing. This is the service we used last time. However, it's kind of being finicky right now. We'll see if I can get it to shape up. If not, we're going to stick with it because it's already built out. But to get us on our merry way, we've got 4 Aragorns to go through, and we can just cut through these really quickly. I know. Only one of them is really playable. But we're going to do every other. Yeah, I mean, You don't like the... Okay, well, we'll get there when we get there, I guess.
We'll get there, yeah.
But to start us off, we're looking at Aragorn and Arwen, I should say. Wed. For generic Selesnya...
Well, I'm not the only one. Longhair actually wants the fun tier too. I want the fun tier.
Fun tier? That spider, though. Fun tier. Oh, Shelob?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to partition part of C and D for the fun tier. And then those will just be separate. So when I do a screenshot for you guys ultimately for the community post, I'll just edit over. That's the fun tier, like border them off so you can see like these are viable for fun situational play.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most competitive thing, but certainly a strategy you would want to play for. But Aragorn and Arwen Wed are 6 CMC total, 3/6 body, legendary creature, human, elf, noble, all the tribes. Vigilance, whenever Aragorn and Arwen Wed enters the battlefield or attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control. I would say that this is D tier at 6 CMC. I would really not want to play this. I assume there might be some +1/+1 combo in here, but I can't help but feel it's not any better than Gave or Gave or Marath.
So yeah, it's basically an over on casual commander. You put a bunch of creatures into play and then you play this, boom, they grow by 1. You want to have haste on this because if you have haste, comes into play, attack, 2 triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, nah.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This business. That's okay though. Here.
I agree with what you're saying.
You would say that you might want to play this casually though?
I mean, it's like it has a way to win the game, so to say. Like if you're able to amass enough creatures, you will give everything +2/+2, kinda.
Right, and you're not talking about amass orcs necessarily. I don't know if those are exclusively black or red in this set, but they are
pretty much. They are pretty much just black and red. But I'm thinking like just creatures in general, like Selesnya creatures in general. Like Esper Sentinel with this would be pretty good because it will be pretty hard for people to pay for their Esper Sentinel.
Right. I mean,
and you're on green, so you can actually ramp this out pretty fast with dorks.
I'd say like C for casual. Then I wouldn't want to put it any higher because there's Sithis. There's a bunch of better Selesnyan commanders, but they all suffer from the same thing. Like the finishers in Selesnya aren't great, and many of them rely on haste enabling. So your Concordant Crossroads or I don't know, Crashing Drawbridge, like whatever you're forced to use. It hurts. Trying to win the game in Selesnya hurts sometimes, unless you're just on Heliod Ballista. But then you could be mono white or any other color pairing for that. But yeah, that's Aragorn Arwen. You want to take Aragorn Company Leader?
Yes.
Should be on screen. If you
I'm on the delay and I'm watching the live stream. Maybe I should find
how delayed is it?
Here. Now I can see it. Our Aragorn Company Leader. When the ring tempts you, you may choose a creature other than Aragorn the Company. Do you want me to read them out, by the way?
Yeah, I mean I guess you guys can read what this card is doing. I've been reading them out because it's just easier for us to establish that.
Yeah, then we'll go here. Other than Aragorn, Company Leader as your ring bearer, put your choice of a counter from among First Strike, Vigilant, Death Touch, and Lifelink on Aragorn. When you put 1 or more counters on Aragorn, put each of those counts.
So that's not really like Zaya.
He's actually pretty good in Tayam.
Would you say?
He will put like
right.
So if you have this and Tayam, the Absan creature that demands counters.
A luminous enigma.
Yeah,
I have them on the screen for you guys now. Yeah.
So basically, whenever you put a counter on this guy, which Tayam is doing quite frequently, you can put another counter on another thing you have. Ultimately, though, I don't like it.
Right.
I don't.
I've not seen Tayam, a cEDH build of Tayam. Would it want this in the 99, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
The ultimate truth is, it's a good card for Tayam, but Tayam have better cards. And so there are discussions like how good Tayam actually is.
Yeah.
Like there are people that are saying Tayam is good. I think Tayam is decent and he's okay. But Tayam is not great. It's not cEDH dominating or like
Right.
a great impact card, but it's a tie-am card for casual, I think. But
I
C,
would
send
say
it to C.
I would send it to D. Like if it's not even good in the 99 of a deck that's not even very competitively viable or as contested as competitively viable, I would say that this makes the first D. Like it's not better than Aragorn and Arwen, and Aragorn and Arwen aren't even really.
Sure,
You
I can
know.
agree.
But I mean, you guys tell me, like, if the audience feels like this is more playable than I'm realizing, let me know. cEDH wise, let's see: Farmer Cotton, Lothos.
I really like Longhair's definitions. We have the meh tier now. I like that.
Yeah, we'll go with Met here. That's the nicest way to put it. But I'll go ahead and read off Aragorn, King of Gondor, for us. It's 1 in a Jeskai, 4/4, human noble, legendary creature. Obviously, vigilance, lifelink. Oh, so much life. When Aragorn, King of Gondor, enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Huh? Flavorful. Whenever Aragorn attacks, up to 1 target creature can't block this turn. If you're the monarch, creatures can't block this turn. Okay, so I mean, that's kind of a cool way to set up for an infinite combat line, like additional combat kind of line. I mean, you have red, so you have access to all those cards. He doesn't really inherently help in any of this, and most infinite combat lines rely on just having a massive creatures to the. It's not really doing anything better than any other Jeskai commander, and I feel like if you're in these colors, I would rather just play something else. Your thoughts?
No, I agree. I mean, you have better Jeskai command. Like that's the honest truth with a lot of cards generally.
Right.
So to say, there's power creep. There are better cards doing the exact same thing.
Right. So where does that seat Aragorn, King of Gondor, for you though? Because it's not. I mean, again, it's not horrible. Making things unblockable is good, and it is draw. Like if you're really looking at it, and it's a vigilant 4/4. So taking Monarch from you can be difficult.
Sure.
I mean, unless it's a Crom, which is going to be very common. I don't know.
Yeah, and I see.
See? Okay.
C. Yeah, C. Behind F, I think it's weaker compared to the Celestia Aragorn.
Really?
Yeah, somewhere in C.
Somewhere in C. Okay, that's fine by me. All right. Aragorn the Uniter. I feel like we all know this one, but I'll let you take it away.
So this is the Aragorn that is like good theoretically.
Right.
So it's blue, white, green, and red. So it's all 4 colors but black. So he's 4 mana. Whenever he casts a white spell, create a 1/1 white human solar creature token. Whenever he casts a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever he casts a red spell, he will deal 3 damage to target opponent, which is the key card part soon. When you cast a green spell, target creature get +4/+4 until end of turn. So we've actually played with this guy, and I think we've even uploaded a gameplay video with this guy too. And he does not impress me. So the basic combo is that you go Food Chain with Squeed Immortal, because if you cast Squeed Immortal infinitely with a Food Chain, then you do infinite damage. You can also do Dockside and Temur Sabertooth with this thing, and that would do infinite damage. You can't do Dockside and Emil, because you're not casting the Dockside.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say that it's like a 4 CMC, 4 colors combo commander with a blue ability that scries 2.
Yeah.
And that's...
You're not really looking at the top or bottom ability. I mean, I was joking. We built this deck, and we actually featured it in our last live stream gameplay. And the problem I find with Aragorn is that it's a very an intrusive casting cost. Like,
yes.
Like when you look at someone like Najila, she's 2 generic and a red, and then she's Wooburg just by virtue of the fact that, she has an ability that puts her in that part of the color identity. Aragorn, it's a lot of really good text on a singular card, but it's hard to get him out. So you're going to have to work really hard to put him on the field if you want to play him for quote unquote value. And like you said, it's either Temur or Cloudstone with Dockside, or Food Chain with Squee. And those are really the only 2 combos I can think to reach for.
You have some more, but they're a little bit far-fetched.
Bergie and Grinning Ignis is another one that you could do.
Yes.
But none of them feel good. I would say that Bergie and Grinning are one of the easier pairs to get to, but like they're not great just by themselves. Bergie's fine. Grinning is not. And
No.
then getting to food chain is kind of difficult because like we're missing black here, which is really the thing that the major hang up for this deck is that the best tutors for every card are in black, and they just don't exist here. So you have like Enlightened Tutor, which is common. Are you going to shoot for Idyllic Tutor for the food chain? Like you're making a lot of concessions to make this work, in my opinion. And like you said, I just don't, I didn't find it effective, and I don't know if Dale would feel that same way, but I brewed it and we tested it, and I didn't find it effective at all.
I agree. I don't think he's trashed here though. He's not like C. He's not casual. He is like a
B.
They're like you have, basically.
Right. Well, no.
I mean, you have combos here, so to say. So you have something that you can work with, but you're just playing weak versions of what the best things you could do is, basically.
Right.
Instead.
I guess the way I'd put it is, if you really want to play an Aragorn, this is the one. But I can't say that it's any better than a lot of options within this part of the color pie. Yeah. It's not bad,
I agree.
though. It's not bad. But I think with that, we can probably move on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on these too long. But again, I think time will tell. Aragorn might be better than we assume, but like once you've made infinite mana, any deck is good. Let's be honest. So it's really just a different flavor of that. I feel like I would rather play Kenrith than just have all of this value accessible with a much easier casting cost. Even if I don't benefit off the cast and I actually have to put mana into it to get those effects, I still think that Kenrith is better, right? And I would rather play that king. So
Arwen, Mortal Queen. White, green, 1 generic, legendary creature, elf, noble, 2/2. Arwen, Mortal Queen, enter the battlefield with an indestructible counter. Remove an indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains indestructible end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter and lifelink count on that creature and a +1 counter on. Yeah, lots of counters. Tie but
I know, I was gonna say, is this your more tie tech for you? Okay.
Wait. This is actually pretty good when I think about it for time.
All right. Okay.
Give me a second. Wait, she comes into play with an indestructible counter and a vigilance counter, so that's 2 counters for Tayam.
Mm-hmm.
She can protect Tayam too, actually, because so you remove a counter from her. Another target creature gains indestructible
until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter. Well, they don't get it indestructible.
I think this is actually a card Tayam could in the end actually play in the 99.
Would Tayam move the indestructible counter? Is that how he works?
No, so basically what you take the indestructible counter. She doesn't give an indestructible counter to something else, but she gives something indestructible. Another target creature gains indestructible until end of turn.
They get a lifelink counter.
Yes. So she actually produced 3 counters. I like her.
Wow.
For Tayam.
Okay, so potential Tayam tech, sure. I would say.
I mean, she gives Tayam indestructible, which is the key part here, which means that you can protect him, like when people are trying to destroy him or your Tayam creatures, for various reasons.
Okay, so Arwen by herself, though, what is she, like a proliferate kind of build? Are you right? She's a D. Okay. But yeah. I feel like with Staff of Completion, you duplicate you have like a lot of protection, but then that's about it. And then you can play with lifelink strategies or like, life matters strategies, I suppose. I would say it's a D by and large.
D.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not like.
But definitely a Tayam card.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a Tayam card. We have Arwen Undemil. Sure. I don't know Elvish. Is that Elvish? It's Simic for 2/2, legendary creature, elf noble. Whenever you scry, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And unlike Thrasios, with an amazing effect at 2 CMC, you can pay 4 generic and Simic for scry too. Well, it does feed into its own strategy of being like a scry deck, right? And the creature you choose, it could be anything. So if for some reason giving your opponents +1/+1 counters is part of your strategy, like the Generous Patron, you can draw off of that. You can obviously buff your own army, or you can make I don't know, if it's harder for you to get to, there's no Walking Ballista line I'm immediately thinking of in Simic, but anytime you can put a creature that requires XX and its cost down, and it comes in with +1/+1 counters. You can kind of cheese the casting cost and just give it +1/+1 counters this way. But then again, that Scry 2 is 6 mana. So it's like, just by itself, it's not great at all.
So it's probably going to be very good in Pauper Commander,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Because you scry a bunch in Pauper, and Pauper Commander it's very focused on like making a creature big. But yes, deep, bad, no, trash, not good for Commander. But Pauper Commander probably good.
See, did you just see that, everyone? This is normally how Kapwing works, where it will auto resize. For some reason, it's not been. Thank God. I hope that's every other card. Save me some finagling here. I am with you, though. Sorry, other Arwen. You're going to go right down in D. But yeah, I guess Pauper playable. You can say that much. All right, next card. Arwen, Weaver of Hope.
Can you take it?
Yeah, I'd love to. So this one's actually pretty decent. It's a generic double green 2/1 Elf Noble. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it, equal to Arwen, Weaver of Hope's toughness. So I think the general strategy here should be buff spells to buff Arwen, and then you cast the creature. It could be a Savala, Heart of the Wilds. You get where I'm going here. The creatures you put on the battlefield are going to be very impressively large, and then you can manipulate effects like Greater Good, Life's Legacy, all the power equals draw effects to actually pull through your deck. So this is sort of like a inverted Savala deck, where you're starting with big creature generation and then getting the ball rolling on a mono green Storm. I know Will likes this card. I'm personally a little iffy on mono green in general. Having played it for years, I could say it is very tough to enact a win, regardless of whichever legend you're playing. So this strategy is fun. I think it's cool, go wide. There aren't that many great hate bears to play in green. Like the biggest one is Collector Oof. So I'm trying to think of how you can impact the board elsewise if you're not doing the thing. And there isn't that much by way of interaction, right? It's just artifact and enchantment removal, some of the best, but you are limited.
I think you're actually looking at this card in the wrong aspect of it. So this card is actually absolutely amazing, except that it already has another card that's doing the exact same thing, but it's better. I'm sitting here and trying to remember the name, but it's an artifact for 2 mana. It comes into play and you name a creature type. And whenever that creature type comes into play, you will put a +1 counter on that creature.
Oh.
That means that you can go infinite with Persist.
Right.
So, and this creature goes infinite with Persist.
You mean Metallic Mimic.
That's the name. Yes,
right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess you could do a Persist combo here. So you have a Persist combo in the command zone. And
yes, but there are no good options for green.
No,
Persist
you have Lesser Masticore, right?
True.
Lesser Masticore and a sack outlet. So I mean, that's kind of a cool function. Hey, that's nice that you...
I think we have to put it into at least
B.
Yes, at least B, because we're talking about something that actually works. Like you could go to a cEDH, like a cEDH tournament with this green fun thing with a happy face.
Yeah.
And then say, I'm playing Arwen! And then everyone thinks you're a casual noob scrub. And you just boom, combo win from out of nowhere because people underestimated you.
Well, I think the beauty of it is, though, like you're in mono green still, but you do have plentiful amount of creature tutors in these colors to find that combo. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I wouldn't include Metallic Mimic unless you're really worried about like Drannith Magistrates or having Arwen otherwise inaccessible. But yeah, you could definitely do this, and then you would just need a decent sack outlet for a win, which could be a blasting station. I can't think of many other ones here, but yeah,
there are a bunch of ways you can make a combo with that creature, but it's like in the end you have better options than her already. 16 in the format, and the final combo you're like creating here is very like casual competitive, I would frame it.
Yeah, I would put it somewhere between B and C, but I can see it. But the fact that
above C.
Right, because it would even be fair in like the 99 of a list, right? Like this is a usable utility, and like decks that care about +1/+1 manipulation might actually benefit from this as well, right? So it's solid. This is the best Arwen, I will say that.
Yeah,
hands down. And sorry, chat. I am reading. Scorpion says maybe with Willbreaker. Willbreaker with Arwen and Emil, I assume. I don't know if I might have missed this one while we were talking about not as a commander, but in the 99 so far as Arwen mono green is concerned. Hydra decks for sure. Yeah, I can agree with that. There's several creatures with +1/+1 counters, and that's true. All right. Yeah, right. Like what's the draw one? The I forget. The one that draws. That one. Play with that one. Finally, this is a 99 card, not a great commander. Are we talking about Baragon of the Guard? Yeah. Do you want this one? I can just read them all off quickly and we can go.
I think it's better than you do that because
sure.
You're seeing them better than I do.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Baragon of the Guard for 3 generic and a white, 3/3 body, human soldier. I'm not going to say legendary creature every single time. So, with that in mind, whenever Baragon of the Guard or a human enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. This is cute. And yeah, I think we can very quickly throw that in D. Is there a defense for this card as like a fun D?
No, it's not. It's like there's so many other like they are like this concept this creature is trying to do.
Yeah.
There are other commanders that are doing the same thing, but in a more creative and fun way. So no, it's not even fun. It's just D for bad.
D for bad. We've got Bilbo Birthday Celebrant, though. I know many were hopeful for this one. So we're in Abzan, one of my favorite color pairings. 2/3, Halfling Rogue. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. Ooh. For 2 generic and Abzan, tap Exile Bilbo Birthday Celebrant. Right, he slips on that ring. Search your library for any number of creature cards. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Activate only if you have 111th or more life. Super flavorful.
This has to go into the fun. Like this, right. This is something you're absolutely building casual, and it's awesome. Like this is the fun tier.
Right.
This is meme tier. Like you live the dream to activate this guy's ability.
I'm gonna put Bilbo just over here, and again, I'll establish this once we have it up in our community post for you guys. But everything off to the right that we're purchasing off to the right, I would say is like a very build around fun deck. Again, it's going to be difficult. Like there aren't that many great life gain combos. Like there's Famished Paladin lines you can play. And then I guess you could end the game with Veto or any sort of gain life.
I don't think you play this guy because of that. I think you play him just because of the like
birthday
I'm going to make the birthday boy party, literally. Like it's lore-wise, it's very correct card. Yeah, he is 11 years old.
Yeah,
and he's bringing everything to a big party. So and he disappears from the party too.
Bilbo cries for Life Matter combo decks. Fun. Can we brew Bilbo, please? Not today, but maybe in the future, vegan economist. Lilith says C for celebration, and I agree. We can move from there, though. Bilbo.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine. Bilbo Retired Burglar. 1 and an Izzet, 1/3 Halfling Rogue. When Bilbo Retired Burglar enters or leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Ooh. Whenever Bilbo deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. That's right. You've got a veritable Ragavan. Yeah, it's interesting. The ring tempts you. I don't know if we've gotten an official wording on like the last effect. I know that the ring will tempt you whether you have a creature or not. I know the ring can tempt you up till 4. You'll gain all those abilities. I think once you access that last ability, the ring can still tempt you, but it's not recording. It's not recording anything beyond that. Like you'll only ever do the 3 damage, right? So this is fun.
You will always, whenever the ring tempts, you can choose a new creature to be your ring bearer. So that's the continuous effect that you get from it afterwards.
Right, but I mean, it is important to note that that is looting, that is evasion, that is like a plentiful amount of effects. Like if they block you, they have to sacrifice it. 3 damage to each opponent or 2 damage to each opponent. I forget it's a shock or a bolt. This is fine. I could see people playing this, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh, sorry, Bilbo. I wouldn't say it's high up on my list here. I would say it's C to D, but you can let me know.
It's somewhere in C. Maybe, somewhere in C. It's like a Voltron casual commander that like draws and discards, you have better options, but
right.
It's not terrible. It's not garbo. It will do something in a game, but it's not going to be like effective.
Right. Well, we're going to leave it right there. There we go. Yeah, I would say it's let's see. It's fine. It's good enough. I think
it's definitely fine. But
well, will it be as fine as Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler for a generic and a blue 2/1 body human rogue? You didn't hear about this one, Mons? Whenever Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler becomes blocked, choose one. Create a treasure token. It's a 2/1, by the way. Target opponent gains control of target horse you control. If they do, remove Bill Fernie from combat and create 3 treasure tokens. Well, I would say that's D fun tier. There's going to be someone who does some dumb horse deck with this, but is there like horse token generation in blue? Are there many mono blue horses? What do we have for this guy? I mean, I like it for its flavor, but
Homeward Path is probably really good with this thing.
Yeah. Right.
Nah.
You just
this
say
is bad.
strict D, the D for degenerate.
Yeah, it just... Yeah, no, it's a trap card. Like, you're gonna try to do something cool and cute with this, and it's just gonna be weird and gimmicky, and it's not gonna work out.
Ooh,
yeah, like yes,
audience
sure,
changelings.
Yeah, I know, but there's no.
Take this amorphous. Take this weird blob. Here. Yeah, it's a horse, trust me. That's so funny. Well, look, if someone in the audience builds for Bill, please share it in the comments after this video. I'd be so curious. Or let me know if you live the dream and generate a bunch of treasures giving away horses, or changelings in this matter. But yeah, it's okay. But speaking of horses, we've got Bill the Pony, 3 generic and a white, 1/4 body horse. When Bill the Pony enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Okay, sacrifice a food token. Until end of turn, target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Well, guess what? Bill the Pony plus Eldrazi Displacer plus KCI.
Yep.
There we go. Broke it. Infinite food. Infinite Bill, ETB, infinite life. What more do you need? Right?
A finisher? I guess your finisher is what is his name again?
I will never
Bilbo.
Die. Yeah.
Bilbo.
Well, mono white. What do you do with all those tokens? I mean, you have a way to I don't know. Well, if you do, what's the one? The guy who generates a clue. If you're gonna make a token, you generate a food, a clue, and a whatever. The
assembly something. It's an artifact.
Right. Like he would give you clues, and you can draw the deck. And obviously, we're adding to this pile.
And treasures too.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Mons? You're not gonna build the pony anytime soon, or?
No, I like it though.
I didn't convince you.
But it's not good.
Is it D though?
C somewhere. I think this is like the fun area.
I think that this one is fun in a way that's kind of effective because you're in white. Like you can find the artifacts and recover them. I mean,
easily. It's very cool to put a gimmicky, cool, cute card onto the battlefield and start doing very cute things with it. So next to Bilbo somewhere, I think.
Academy Manufacturer. Thank you guys.
That's the name. Yeah.
Next to Bilbo. Yeah.
Yeah, next to Bilbo.
I would say.
I mean, it's Bilbo's pony.
Yeah. There you go.
No. It's someone's. Is it Samwise? Is Sam's Bilbo pony? I don't remember.
B is for Bill. So yeah, y'all want to put him in B. I don't know if we put him in B. B just because it's fun. No. We're gonna put it in the C. Build around fun playable. Okay, so we've got Boromir, but not the good one. Okay, actually, I don't know if this one's any good. I forget what this one does. It's 2 generic and what is this? Azorius. 3/4 human warrior. Whenever Boromir Gondor's Hope enters the battlefield or attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a human or artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay. Right? Like, they weren't going to build something cracked like they did with Winota. This is fine.
No.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, yeah, let's not do that again. This is fine. I don't know if this wants to be in the body of a deck, but it's okay.
It's a decent, it's a like casual commander for sure. Like, this is a good casual commander.
Okay, so you see this in NC.
Yeah, definitely.
I can
like I actually think it's a pretty. I think this might be the best cash C commander we have currently in the C tier.
Just because it's giving you that dig, right? Because the artifact is the part that's appealing to me. Like, I don't know how many humans you're gonna have in your list that are really good. Like a Snapcaster.
I think the part where you're gonna have so many targets that when you attack, you're always gonna get something, and it is better than card drop because you get to choose.
Oddly, I wish it was on damage, just so I could like manipulate double strike or. Yeah, I mean it's not necessary, but like it happens on ETB, so it does the thing immediately when you play it. So it's better than I'm giving it credit for. I just think that I like the other Boromir a lot. That my opinion of this one's sort of washed, but yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely the best C. There's
a very good Sword of Selves. The Myriad sword is pretty good with this guy, actually.
Yeah, actually, that wouldn't, because they would still ETB, and then they would die as they would be removed as a state-based action, but you still get the ETB. So yeah, for sure. And there's actually a combo from the set with Aemir in mono red with Blade of Selves. A lot of Blade of Selves things in the set. Azorius Winota would be funny. Yeah, it would be kind of gross. Casual Winota. Local game buy, maybe with stacks. Yeah, it's fine. You can run Bill in the 99. True. You can also run Bill in the 99 of Boromir, Warden of the Tower, for 2 generic and a white, 3/3 human soldier. This one's good. Vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Right? That's not bad. Sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you.
So there's a very easy thing to say here. He is good, but there's another card that does the same thing, but better, and that is Laviniasaurus Renegade. And because of that, he is actually not good. If Laviniasaurus Renegade didn't exist, he would be better, because that's how power creep actually works.
Right.
Because she's just cheaper, and she does more, because she actually prevents people from casting spells if they don't have enough lands in play.
Right.
However, this guy is mono-white, so that makes him an option for decks that want to have Laviniasaurus Renegade but don't have access to blue. So in the end, as a finalized like review for him, he is actually like up in the CB, maybe like above C. Like
I could see him in. Are we talking about Boromir right now? So the audience says there's an infinite with Ratabrax, 2-card infinite. That might be the other Boromir. Well, I mean, I know Teshar would like this, right? It's a legendary, right? And then you also are able to sacrifice it and recur it, if I'm not mistaken. It's good. I think it's actually good in the body of the 99. I could see, Lavinia is so good because normally people are using fast mana and rituals to cheat out spells larger than their land base, right? So she's very effective at doing that. And Boromir hits on a different level. I don't hate it. It's weird to say I wish it had flash, then, it would be super playable. But I could still see it as like a...
no, that would not work because they have already announced and cast the thing. It's like... Right. It's good if they cast an Underworld Breach and their hand is empty and they have no mana, and you flash this in before they're allowed to cast Lionside Diamond. But that's a very fringe situation.
But frequent enough, Yeah. I guess it depends on your meta. But I see Underworld Breach all the time, so not crazy, And even like lines of play that aren't in blue, like you could see Grinding Station with any sort of like Mana Crypt or sort of fast mana to dig through the deck with Underworld Breach. This will stop the Mana Crypt from coming back if they're not on LED for budget or otherwise. I think it's like a B to C, but I would say B because it's one color and it's splashable at 1 white. Fair?
Yeah, I agree.
Other cases, it's good in mono white stacks only. In that case, I'd say it's B plus, says David. All right, fair enough. We have Butterbur, Bree Innkeeper. 2 generic Selesnya 3/3 at the beginning of each, your end step rather. If you don't control a food, create a food. Okay. Wow.
No.
Oh,
Not so great.
You're so sure.
Yeah.
You're so sure.
I mean,
I'm just kidding. No, you're right. I think I'm just gonna slot it right into D. Right.
It's a very it's very expensive to get a food token.
Yeah.
It's just D immediately.
The best thing I can say is it happens on the same turn you play it, but that's not enough to say it's good.
No.
But we have Celeborn the Wise in mono green. For 3 generic and a green 3/3, whenever you attack with 1 or more elves, scry 1. Whenever you scry, Celeborn the Wise gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each card looked at while scrying this way. Huh. How much scry is in green outside of the elves attacking?
Very little. Close to nothing.
Right. So I don't know where it fits. I would say like hope someone doesn't play a culling ritual against you. Hope that you still have your, and it's got to be elves specifically attacking, right? Whenever one or more elves scry 1. Oh, that's rough. You were saying,
yeah, so basically if you're attacking with everything, you still just scry 1. D, move on.
Yeah, that's so cruel. That's so cruel. We have Sirdan Shipwright, the Shipwright for 3 generic and Simic 3/4 Elf Noble Vigilance Secret Council. Whenever Sirdan the Shipwright enters the battlefield or attacks, each player secretly votes for a player, then those votes are revealed. All right. Each player draws a card for each vote they received. Each player who received no votes may put a permanent from their hand onto the battlefield. Well, what is the strategy here?
Fun. This is awesome. It's super bad but super fun. Like this is like a commander you wanna play with because it's like just fun.
Right.
But no, bad.
So
I think we have the fun meh tier here, perfect for this.
So this is D, fun meh.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll put it right under there. That seems fair. Yeah, but I agree with you. Like that seems like a fun thing to do, and you can use flicker effects to like do it more.
Yeah, I mean, you basically build a deck that is very focused on getting this guy into play, and then you play a lot of really big and stompy things, and like, give me card draw, and I'm gonna put something crazy into play, basically. But which is fun. Like, this is gonna be a fun commander in casual.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so I would say like meh. Well, someone said it best in the chat. They said D for a build around meh. All right, so we have Denethor, Ruling Steward, for a generic, and Orzhov, 2/4 Human Noble. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, create a 1/1 Human Soldier creature token. That's fine. For 2 generic, sacrifice another creature. Here we go. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Okay, give me the Gravecrawler loop, please. Ashnod's Altar, Gravecrawler, you need a zombie. And then you would need infinite mana. But you won't get infinite mana that way. You would need like what is it? Not Grave Titan. I could see this working in like a 3 to 4 card combo to do the thing, and you just have the payoff in the command zone. But is that better than, I don't know. It's not just enough having infinite mana. You need to have another creature to sacrifice. So it's fine. Are there better?
He's basically a Skull Clamp commander. You play him to play Skull Clamp. That's what I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense, right? Because it's tracking if a creature died under your control, not a non-token creature. So you could just clamp the Human Soldier every single turn. Is that enough though? Like I feel like I would rather Arden Tavesh skull clamp
Yes.
your thing, and then, you know, obviously there's more play there. This is fine, even with the outlet attached to him. I think there's so many hurdles to get over that it's not great. Having a 2/4 is great, but he's
actually really good in Pauper Commander, though.
Right. So where would you? Are we saying D?
D.
Here? Right. Which is weird because, again, like, I'm sure there's a combo.
Actually, I think we should put him a little bit higher. I mean, Skull Clamping casual can be pretty good. Like, if you get this guy into play and you get to sit with Skull Clamp, you can draw a lot of cards in casual. So I think we should put him a little bit higher than D, but far below in C in the end, I think.
Right. Yeah, we're not tiering these in that way, but I would definitely say that you could say this is...
Yeah.
Right. I would say that this is like a C, but yeah. I mean, you have the tutors to get the skull clamp, so it's not like it's a difficult strategy to set up.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta listen to what we're saying about the cards individually and not listen to like the position they get in the end on the tier list, because like the context here matters. So that's the word.
Right. But there is another Denethor, so there's hope. Denethor Stone Seer. For a generic and a blue, 1/3 body, human noble. When Denethor Stone Seer enters the battlefield, scry 2. Yes. Oh my god, wait, is it? For 3 in a red, tap, sacrifice Denethor. Target player becomes the monarch. Denethor deals 3 damage to any target. Huh. Mass Hysteria. Infinite mana. I don't know. It looks like that orb has a butt, by the way. It's really throwing me off. So, with that piece of information out of the way, I would say this is a D. Yeah, Scorpion says D as well. I'm inclined to agree. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Let it burn. Let it burn. All right, here I'm gonna shift some of these over. You know what's sad? I think that a lot of things are gonna slot into D, so I'm just making sure we have the space, people.
Yes.
Truthfully, like this set, it's interesting. There were a lot of really great cards that came out for the 99, but so far as the legendaries are concerned, and it's their viability in the command zone, I would say that a lot of these slot into the DC territory, sadly. And
there's actually one legendary that's gonna go in S tier, though.
And it was an Aragorn Uniter. I'm curious to see. We'll get there when we get there.
You're gonna be surprised about it, but there's one that's actually really good.
Okay. Eleanor Gardener for 3 generic and a green, 2/4 halfling scout. When Eleanor Gardener enters the battlefield, create a food token. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice a food token this turn, you may search your library for a basic land. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Ugh. Can I just throw her in D really quick? What do you got for me?
I mean this is like ramp. This is C tier. Like you have something to do here. Like you're producing food tokens here and there.
ETB, there and back again.
Yeah, but you can have a lot of food token creations in your deck, so to say. So
food
you have like a casual deck that is built around creating a lot of food, and then you're cracking these foods to accumulate a lot of mana, and then you have a lot of expels and various sorts to do big things with your mana. So yeah, C.
Still
very low on.
Yeah, still C.
She's not terrible. Like you're basically paying 2 mana for a rampant growth, which is basically she makes every food into a rampant growth, more or less.
Right. Is food 3 or 2 to crack?
2.
Okay.
2 mana. So you crack food here and there to basically find lands to shrink your land count, ramp up. It's basically making something like a card draw or like a very strange value when you crack a food. So yeah, you have something.
Right, and you can
not good, but yeah.
Right. I mean, there might even be a combo here. I don't know. Is there like a life gain food combo that I'm unaware of, people? Let me know in the chat if there's like something that is groundbreaking. But we have Elrond, Lord of Rivendell, for 2 generic and a blue, 3/2 body, elf noble. Whenever Elrond, Lord of Rivendell, or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. That's right. If this is the second time this ability is resolved this turn, the ring tempts you. Okay.
I kind of want to say something here. I dislike the part where he is actually tempted by the ring, because
Was
I
he?
felt, yeah, story-wise, this guy was very resistant to the ring. He never felt like someone who gave into it, honestly.
At least outwardly. I guess they're trying to tell us that he was secretly pining for the ring.
I don't think so. I think Elrond was very like knightly and very stoically against it. So I felt he was very
Chivalrous.
resistant. Yeah, I think he was very resistant to it.
I know that.
In any case, yeah.
In any case, D. I mean, it's a 3/2 that'll gain evasion from things that are more powerful than it. Is that true? Or how does that. It's not.
You gain Skulk.
Right.
I'm gonna say that you actually have almost something here. If it was on green, it would be better, because then you have cool creatures that you can actually do something with.
Right.
In the end, like scrying and getting ring temptations isn't that bad, but it's not as amazing either. So in the end, D. Like it's
Right. It's a D. I like the fact that it could, just by virtue of playing Scry, you can get to the end of the temptation line. But is that enough to really, make this deck sing? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he could have benefited from being Simic like his better half. Elrond, Master of Healing. For 2 generic Simic, 4/4, Elf, Noble. Whenever you scry, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying. That seems okay. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. So this is like that one enchantment no one ever runs. Okay, so there's draw, right? cEDH players love draw mons. You can't deny it. And
nope, I do.
There's +1/+1 counter manipulation, which a certain subset of players enjoy. And we all enjoy it on Walking Ballista. So this is actually not horrible. I would say that this is a C in my opinion. I don't immediately see a combo calling out to me. I don't really play in blue in Commander, so maybe there's something here I'm missing, like a nice infinite line or something.
There are actually a few very gimmicky combos you can do here that is like, don't do them. So there are creatures that can remove counters to gain mana.
Yeah.
And there are creatures that draws cards when they get +1/+1 counters. So you can build a very gimmicky Storm deck where you play a whole bunch of scry effects. You put counters on your creatures to draw cards and create mana. However, the creatures that actually do this are really bad, and you end up with like it's not good. Like it's not gonna end with a good flowing strategy of sorts. But there is something. Mons, no.
What
I said no. I don't know.
Gimmick Storm.
I don't know. Eric Funes only said Mons no, so I don't know what he said no to. But maybe there's something more. Maybe he'll write something.
Right, yeah. Let us know if we're missing something. Let us know. I'm just adjusting our bubbles because I have a gut feeling that C and D tier are gonna begin to reach us momentarily.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so I'm gonna say that this is a D.
Someone is saying D. That's the same person saying Mons no. No, I agree. It's definitely like not good.
I would say that this is better
but
than
there's
a majority of the things in D, and I would say you could play it casually.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I'm just saying that there are things you can do, but there are things that you're doing with this combo attempt is bad. So no.
Right. It's better than everything down here.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Elrond of the White Council. For 3 generic and Simic, we have a 3/3 Elf Noble, go figure, Secret Council. Ooh. When Elrond of the White Council enters the battlefield, each player secretly votes for fellowship or aid, and then those votes are revealed. For each fellowship vote, the voter chooses a creature they control. You gain control of each creature chosen this way, and they gain this creature can attack its owner. Then each aid vote, for each aid vote, rather, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Wow.
How can Elrond of the White Council not have white in his mana cost?
Solid. He He didn't choose that name. I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's true.
Well, I don't know. It's I don't know why they're called the White Council, but yeah, he missed the mark. I think it's fine. It's really cool, the effect. I wish it was like the other one, on entering the battlefield and attacking. Then it would be really cool. Like if this happened every time you swung, grossly effective. ETB is fine. You still have stuff to like make this work in blue at least. I would say that this is C to D as well. You can really put it either way. Is the other Elrond better though? That's my question to you. Is the other Simic Elrond better with the counter manipulation?
Yes, probably, like, because you can make creatures really big and smash people really hard with them. But
right.
in the end, this is definitely the fun section. Like you can have fun with this. Like if you like the political stuff like voting, I can take your, because what you can do here is that you can borrow people's creatures and attack other people with them, and that is fun. Like you can have this very political game.
Is it a borrow, or do you keep it?
It's a borrow.
They control, you gain control of each creature chosen this way. And no, I think you just keep it.
Oh wait,
right. So you're removing a blocker. You're not only removing a blocker permanently, you're just gaining the creature, right? And it can't attack its owner, but I don't think they get it back.
Okay, then
that's not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, but they're going to choose aid.
Yeah. So in the end, then
it's still like a build around. You'd say
in that case, he makes. Wait a minute. Each player secretly votes for fellowship, and then
it's a permasteal, right?
In that case, you're giving all your creatures +4/+4 each turn cycle.
Ooh, what's better?
Wait, when he enters the battlefield, only okay. So each time you flicker him, you give all your creatures +4/+4.
Right.
He's actually we should put him close to more C in that case, because you're building an overrun effect. The basic idea is to put a bunch of creatures into play and then cast Elrond, and then you basically make a huge army. Yeah,
it's highly doubtful anyone's going to try to, like, they're not going to give you a creature. I do foresee the +4/+4 just going across the board. That's really not horrible. I could say that's C, and then the potential of taking a creature from someone.
People might actually give you creatures eventually just because they don't.
Yeah, they can't afford to just take all that damage. You know what I mean? Like
because that creature is not coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I think he should go to C. I think he's actually pretty fun too. Like you should put him in the fun C category, because that could be a very fun gimmicky mechanic. Like you're sitting there and building your army, and then your opponents, like, you have this political discussion too. So yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I'm wondering if is that effect better than Master of Healing?
Yes, it is. It's the same, because Master of Healing is the exact same thing, but this is doing the exact same thing but better. Like scry and put counters, or put 4 counters on everything.
It makes me want to move Elrond Master of Healing down, but I mean, I don't know.
That can stay.
That's fine. Yeah. All right. Aemir, King of Rohan, and just to check in with the chat, Blink Go Burr.
Yeah, that's basically what you do.
It's too hard to make it work and make those effects happen to be worthy. There are some better options.
Eric Funes, you are correct, but we're talking C, and that's casual here. So
right. Yeah, so it's C, fun, build around. Everything off to the right is a fun, buildable deck. Not necessarily something you'd want to play to win games outright. But the King of Rohan for 3 generic and Boros, 2/2, human noble, double strike. Aemir enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other human you control. When Aemir enters the battlefield, its target player becomes the monarch. Aemir deals damage equal to its power to any target. Okay, so you're gonna select yourself.
So expensive.
Yeah, I don't know why 5 was like the theme for a lot of these. Like, it's very interesting, the high cost of a lot of these legends.
Thank you, Eric Fumes.
Okay, so I'm not high on this at all.
No, D.
Yeah, it's a D because
Yeah.
what humans are you rocking? Like, I don't see this being that viable whatsoever. I think there are better things to do. Even in Boros, we have so many equipment commanders to choose from. Just pick one of those instead. However,
wait a minute. Wait. He's actually pretty good in Venota. Inside the 99 of Venota.
Sure. So
wait, so we are rating these as the commander, right?
Well, it's a mixture. So if you feel it, look, so if it goes into the 99 of a deck that is commonly played, then yeah, that we can grade it on that. And Winota is commonly played so far as control is concerned. Like stacks players love playing
I think you have to put him basically in B. Actually, honestly, like this is actually something you could play in cEDH for reals. Truly.
So you dump it off of Winota.
Yeah, because he is expensive, but that is something Venota is actually looking for. Venota want to have these really expensive humans, and this can actually come in with a very big punch on it because Venota is a human, and if you have a lot of humans, he's gonna actually be pretty big.
Any target too, so like you can punch down the Tevesh, you can kill the Crom, so it can't fly over you. You could just nuke a Timna.
Yeah,
I mean, like really nuke a Timna, or just hit the Adnos player's life total.
Yeah,
it's really not horrible in the 99. Okay, so as your commander, don't play it as your commander. This is going to go to B tier, but I would stress that it will fit into the 99 of Winota. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me move these over. Cool. Nothing A tier yet.
We're getting there.
Maybe Amir. Winota, you said? Wait for Theoden. Amir, Marshal of Rohan. For 2 generic double red, 4/4 human knight haste. Whenever one or more other attacking legendary creatures you control die, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. This ability triggers only once each turn. Oh, poo. But if you attach Blade of Selves to this card, lo and behold, that's right, Amir gets to go nutsos. So you make 2 other legendary Marshals of Rohan. They'll be removed as a state-based action, but that puts them entering the battlefield puts these additional combat phases into play. So you'll attack, you'll do the thing again, you'll attack, you'll do the thing again.
It's actually pretty good in Venota again, because this is a human, and you flip into it, and if they block one of your legendaries, you get to attack again! And you can have more Venota triggers. Venota actually has a lot of really good options. So in the end, like, how good is he really? Like, how hard is he competing against all the other things Venota could have inside the deck?
Right.
But in the end, this is...
Oh, sorry.
This is something you could have inside Venota. It's not wrong.
I would rather the Amir, the Boros one.
All right, yeah.
I just think that's probably because the draw effect is really good. It's not like Winota's getting it elsewhere. Are there much draw utilities in that deck? I have no idea. But becoming Monarch is not a bad thing, especially if you have the bodies to just protect it. I would say this is a C.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, it's not horrible. It does have a combo as a commander itself. It can fit into the 99 of some list. It's just another...
It can't go infinite. You can only trigger this ability once each turn, so there's no combo.
For the Blade of Selves, the copies that come into play, the fresh Amirs. So there's that, but no. Like if you were going to use this with... That
is true. It actually goes infinite with Blade of Selves. Because of that reason, it has to go to B, because it has a 1-card combo on it. B.
It's way under Godo so far as viability, but I would put Godo in potentially S, which is saying a lot for mono red. So it's probably...
I would not put Godo in S far, no.
It's leagues better than most of mono red. Like, what is the best in mono red? People play Bergi, people play Magda, people play Godo.
Magda is better than Godo.
Would you play
leagues above?
Yeah, I guess. I don't have that much experience against Magda players.
Magda is good.
Godo's kind of always consistent, especially if they just plop down a tree.
Magda is more consistent than Godo. In both speed and consistency. And Magda also has a good game plan if you're not having a good game. Like Godo will cry and do nothing. Magda will do something, I promise you.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
I don't even think I would put Magda in S tier. I don't think Godo is that great.
It really depends on who's piloting it, the pod. Godo kind of pops off if there's no control player whatsoever.
Magda pops up. Magda can win an instant speed. Magda can pop off even if they're like, there are control players.
Does she just win though if you have a how quickly and efficiently can she win? Because Godo has many wins where if you don't stop this thing from happening, he just wins instantaneously. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does Magda have plays where she just wins instantaneously?
Yeah, Dockside, boom, you won.
I have to look at it again. Because you do Dockside, and isn't there? I forget. We discussed the combo for Magda, and I built her ages ago.
It's Clock of Omens and then Dwarf Artifact creature. Right. And you win.
Right. Anyway, we're not talking about those. It was all to assess where this should fall on this board. If we feel B is appropriate, though,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fine. Okay, Amir of the Rittermark for 4 generic and a red 5/4 body human knight haste. When Amir of the Rittermark attacks, if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. It is an F. I'm sorry, D.
Yeah.
But I mean F. Really.
That was a very expensive creature too.
Yeah, no. I don't like it at all. I don't like it whatsoever. Does Winota want it? Let me know. I like Bergie way better than Magda, and Urabrosk I really love more than Magda, but that's me. Yeah, I prefer Storming that way. Magda's fine. She's easy to get out, and she has a lot of combos or things that work off of her ability, so it's not bad. Eowyn Fearless Knight for 2 generic, Boros 3/4 body, human knight. Did I say human knight? Human knight. Haste when Eowyn Fearless Knight enters the battlefield. Exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. Interesting. Legendary creatures you control gain protection from each of that creature's colors until end of turn. Wow, it's a rare. Hope you don't pull it. It's not great. Again, I don't. Okay, let me just state though, you do get to permanently exile the thing.
Yeah, she makes things unblockable basically.
That's cool. I mean,
but no, it's not good.
If it made permanents you control have protection, like if she just blocked everything like a proper shield maiden, then I would say maybe there's some competitive use to it, because you might just have a combo piece laying on the battlefield and then you protect it with this. But if it's only creatures, it's only till end of turn, I don't like this at all. Again, I want to put this in the D slot.
Yep. Not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, we can move on from here. I will scooch these over. All right. Eowyn, Lady of Rohan, 2 generic and a white, 2/4 body human noble. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gains your choice of first strike or vigilance until end of turn. If that creature is equipped, it gains first strike and vigilance until end of turn. Ooh. Equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. All right, let's make it easier. Why don't we? It's mono white. This is no better. I would advise you to play Balan over this, and I will give you a deck tech to follow, because there's a lot more you can do with Balan than I would say you'd actively want to do with this. In the body of the 99, is this good? Isn't there a paladin that just makes equip cost 0 with Metalcraft?
Yes.
Right. That's just exclusively better.
Yes, she's bad.
Strictly better. Okay. Well, I mean, the first strike vigilance is really cool, but in the 99, maybe it's playable, but I would still put it at C to D, and probably D. Where are you at?
D.
D. Okay.
Yeah. Bad.
There's no redeeming quality. Pure Steel Paladin. No. That's what it is, I think. Okay.
That might be the name. That's a modern card in general, so I don't
Gotcha.
know too much about it.
Yeah, no worries. Maybe an Audric is 99. Maybe an Audric. There you go.
Yeah, maybe.
So here's a pretty decent one. Eowyn, Shield Maiden for 2 generic and Jeskai, 5/4 human knight. First strike at the beginning of combat on your turn. If another human entered the battlefield under your control this turn, create 2 2/2 red human knight creature tokens with trample and haste. Okay, sorry. Then, if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. So there is a combo with this card, and it's called Breath of Fury. Breath of Fury works with a lot of token generation, provided those tokens have haste. These tokens don't have evasion, so just be mindful of where you send these tokens first. Provided you're able to get one in over an opposing blocker, right? Breath of Fury will let you amass an army, and then ultimately you can swing at the last person who's the trouble player for you to get over. But also it has draw attached to it. I like this a lot. I would almost put this in B.
Yes.
If not A, it's A might be a little too generous. I don't.
Not A. She's a bit too expensive, and there's a very big build up here. Like, definitely not B, because there's a little bit, like, there's a lot of things you need to do for you to actually get there. First, you need to have another human enter the battlefield, so she doesn't trigger on her own.
No, yeah.
So you will first have to cast her for 5 mana. Then you need to cast another human, and then you need to climb up to 6 humans, and then you get 1 card, and that's for 1 card. So I can't put her in B. That feels like there's no sure there's a combo with her, but actually, you know what? In the end, as she has a 1 card combo, I'm fine with having her in B, but only because she has a 1 card combo.
Right. I mean, if that's the bar we're trying to have them cross, right, to get into the BAS territory, like if it's a 2-card combo, I think that's fair. It's an expensive one. They're both expensive. I think Breath of Fury is 4 CMC, if not 3.
It is. You have white, so you have Enlightening Tutor, so you can find it. And you have Mystical Tutor to find Enlightening Tutor, but like in the end, it's a 1-card combo that's like tricky to actually search for too.
Right. What would you do? Is Spellseeker a human?
Yes.
All right. So,
but Spellseeker only Spellseeker finds Merchant Scroll, finds Mystical Tutor, finds Enlightening Tutor.
Enlightened Tutor.
Like
she would find Enlightened Tutor.
Yeah. What you don't play Spellseeker, you play Heliod's something.
Heliod's Pilgrim.
Yes, because that finds an aura.
Or
it's white.
It's a moon blessed cleric as well. I think could find an enchantment for you. Top of deck. I would still run Spellseeker in this list just for the human trigger. It like Snapcaster Mage. Any value human you can get to ease the burden of this effect.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a B. It's fair.
It's a B.
Yeah.
It's a B because you have 1-card combos on it, but yeah.
I get what you're saying though. It is a difficult setup. I think it's easy to look at that and like it, but it is a hard setup to get to. Arrestor of the Council. So for a generic and Simic 2/4 Elf Noble, whenever players finish voting, I can already feel where I'm going to slot this. Each opponent who voted for a choice you voted for creates a treasure token. You scry X, where X is the number of opponents who voted for a choice you didn't vote for. Draw a card. To really get me to play this, it just needed to say draw X for people that didn't vote for the choice you voted for. Then it would be like super fun, super playable. Scrying and getting 1 card is fine, but you're also asking to have this deck littered with vote choice effects. And
yeah, this is the meh fun part.
Right.
Like, this is a fun card, but it's very bad.
It's very bad. It is very
bad. You basically put together a fun political voting deck, and you have fun.
Would we say C fun? It is draw at the end of the day.
Sure, yeah.
C.
Yeah.
It's also draw, multiple draws, right? Like for each opponent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. It's multiple scry, and then right. Yeah, that's fine. We'll put it right there with the other C build around fun plays. Okay. Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold, for 3 generic and a red 3/3 human soldier. When Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold, or another human enters battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Clearly S tier, right?
I'm having a...
What? having a what, Mons?
D, not D.
Having
I'm trying to figure out the best way to just say bad, move on.
Right, yeah. Well, you could just say bad, move on.
Okay, bad, move on.
Like you might say with Fanghorn, Tree Shepherd, 4 generic, triple green, 4/10 body, Tree Folk. Tree Folk you control have Vigilance. Ooh, that includes Fanghorn. Whenever one or more Tree Folk you control attack, add twice that much green. You don't lose unspent green mana as steps and phases end. Don't we all wish that this had the text that said you use your defense value on making attacks? I mean, that would have made this extremely fun. It's still okay. I don't know, twice that much green?
This is good in Kinnan, but pretty much only Kinnan. Yeah, Kinnan could play this in cEDH because you're creating like a big mana dork that attacks.
It is slow. It is slow though.
But you're getting it into play with Kinnan, tricking it into play. But no, it's bad. It's just very, very expensive.
D.
Yeah.
D levels of bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's a card Kinnan could play, but I don't think Kinnan is like going to play it.
Right. Any Kinnan players in the audience, let us know. Are you slotting this into your Kinnan deck? All right, we're making headway. We're doing well here. Faramir, Field Commander, 3 generic in a white 3/3 body human soldier. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature you control, a creature died under your control this turn. So that's kind of cool. Draw a card, so it doesn't have to be your creature. All right, you can steal a creature, but you're in mono white. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Faramir, Field Commander as your ring bearer, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. We're going to slot it straight into D from me, dog.
Yeah.
We're really working through this list. I think this is why, by the way, this is why we didn't hold a D tier last time, because all of the back and forth with these cards. I'm going to do it for you guys, but I think next time, save us a little bit of trouble. For 2 generic and Azorius, 3/3 human noble. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. At the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. How cute. Otherwise, create 3 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Thoughts on Faramir the Prince? Oh, you're good.
I'm just gonna ask something. I don't know what this.
No, you're good. He activates. Oh, true. Kinnan doesn't do anything with it. With Fanghorn.
No, yeah, the treefold, but he gained like the Fanghorn will create mana, so Kinnan can activate more, so to say. I was asking what assertive. You might be able to actually. What does assertive mean?
Assertive. I think it's just you are good at getting your point across.
Oh, okay.
Right. You guys can correct me if that's not what you intended to say. It's not a bad thing though. Give me 1 second.
No, yeah, I didn't recognize the.
Faramir's
kind with empathy.
Kind with empathy, sure. Whoop. Let me make sure that we're all okay. There's another Faramir because there had to be for a white or generic and Azorius 2/2 human noble. Whenever a legendary creature with mana value 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you become monarch. At the beginning of each your end step, rather, couldn't be that good. If you're the monarch, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Imagine if it said each end step. Well, this is the best Faramir. I can say that. But legendary creature with a mana value of 4 or greater, I mean, there's plenty of those from this set, but does it count itself?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Because he's 3 mana.
Yeah.
He would if he had a CMC4. No, I don't. Nah. Yeah, Skull Clamp. Maybe.
I would still.
Like I'm gonna be honest. Like he has a really good game plan with Skull Clamp. Definitely.
Okay. All right. So you're happy
I
with
don't
the C casual?
Yeah.
Casual Faramir.
Hear me out. You have white and blue. White and blue are great at searching out artifacts. You have Urza Saga. You have lots of different ways to find Skull Clamp. And once you have Skull Clamp and this guy, you're just sitting and casting CMC for legendaries, for cutesy values, and then you're Skull Clamping your creatures and you're drawing into more cutesy legendaries. You have Monarch for more card draw. So yeah, you have a game plan for casual here.
Is it a like casual or fun build around casual?
I'd say probably good casual. This like you can draw a lot of cards here.
Okay, I can agree with that. Farmer Cotton for X and not Simic, Celestia, excuse me. 1/1 Halfling Peasant. When Farmer Cotton enters the battlefield, create X/1/1 white halfling creature tokens and X food tokens. That's quite a lot of tokens. Farmer Cotton's not horrible, but you are in a really, again, tough part of the color pie. I don't know. Food Chain, Eternal Scourge, Farmer Cotton, all the white humans or halflings, all the food tokens pass. Cross your fingers. How are you feeling on Farmer Cotton?
Hey, I like Eric Fune's comment, A+. I mean, you're nah.
Not even off of Food Chain. What if I let you use Food Chain as your companion? What if I let you keep Food Chain in the companion slot and you put it in your hand at any time? Does that change your opinion?
He is a very bad. Like, sure, you get infinite 1/1s and pass turn.
Yeah.
If you get C in that case, best.
All right, but if you didn't just have complete access to Food Chain, it would be a D. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, this is actually true. Eric Funes is onto something. If you have a Phyrexian altar, Ashnod's altar is the one.
Are you trying to?
You need both Ashnod's altar and Phyrexian altar to make this guy work.
So
he's right. Like,
so
there's
what if you had KCI and Ashnod's altar, sure, or KCI and Phyrexian altar, right? So you break the food tokens,
work too.
You break the food tokens, you break the halflings, right? But you're only netting. Let's just say for every halfling and food token you break, you're netting 3 mana, and it's 2 commander checks. But you do need to make up for the cost of green and a white every time you do that.
I will never agree that this guy should be above C. Never. Because in the end, after all of that junk of having altars, like you need 2 different altars, you still just have infinite tokens and pass turn. You also have infinite life, but still, people, no.
I'm gonna put it in D because I would rather convince you to play anything else from Celestia.
Yes, that too.
Play Calyx from the past set. Like, I think that Calyx is cool and should probably see some play. I would rather you play that than Farmer Cotton. But if you are convinced that you should play Farmer Cotton, please do. So the partners with commanders are going to be tricky because I feel like we need to assess them with their partners. So I can jump down to Sam. But Frodo Adventurous Hobbit for Orzhov 1/3, partners with Sam Loyal Attendants. It's like a food generator, if I'm not mistaken. Whenever Frodo Adventurous Hobbit attacks, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, the ring tempts you. Then if Frodo is your ring bearer, the ring has tempted you 2 or more times this game. Draw a card. Okay, so just as a refresher, we have Samwise. Oh, we're gonna have to jump around, people. If I'm not mistaken, Sam Loyal Attendant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a food token. You can pay 2, tap it to sacrifice it and gain 3 life. Activated abilities of food tokens you control cost 1 less to activate. Ooh. Okay, so wherever we put Frodo, we put Sam.
Yeah, they basically come together. They're one commander. Unless
you elect not to play both for some reason.
Yeah, but no, you do that.
It's draw. It's a vigilant draw. It's life gain. It's okay. So there's token generation, which can't be understated. So
the good part here is that you can draw cards with this Frodo, because that if you tempt yourself twice, you get to draw a card. The sad part is that the Sam does not give you a ring temptation possibility, so you have to do it inside the 99. And that means that you're in Absan, and you're on 3 colors. Your Frodo is basically 2 mana, so he's really cheap. You don't really play Sam at all. He's just there for green color identity, and then you figure out how to gain ring temptations. But you also need to gain 3 more life this turn. So there, honestly, in the end, there's just too many things to get there. Like, yes, he has a form of card draw effect on him, but it's a little bit just too much. But in the end, like somewhere in C or B.
I can agree with that. And let me just do this.
It's just too much. Like there's just too much there's just too much things you need to do to get one card.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I don't like this pairing at all. I think that the logical thing you should do would be Frodo and then Sam, and then you make the food and potentially start going into the thing. But as was stated, like the ring temptation needs to happen somewhere in the 99. So you're also relying on like, it's just
cards you draw into.
Yeah, it's too much work. I mean, I want to put them both in D, to be frank, just because I would rather you do something else in Abzan than this. Even though there is, it says draw in the command zone, it's just not enough. It's too much to make happen.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit sad. It could have been cool to have Frodo and Sam actually being cEDH viable. So I'm a little bit sad about this.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna be fairly honest, everything on Frodo looks pretty good and promising, but then you look at Sam, and then it's where it's failing. If they could somehow draw cards, only the two of them together somehow, if Sam was like just 2 mana, then it would be something we could work with. But this is just not gonna work out. It's too much.
Right.
Too expensive.
Yeah, it's too expensive. I guess the idea is if you leave Sam up as a blocker or something. I don't know. It's not worth playing though. Sorry guys. But there's Frodo Baggins. There's still hope. We've got Selesnya 1/3. Whenever Frodo Baggins or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, the ring tempts you. Man, don't we wish Sam did that. And then generate food tokens. As long as Frodo is your ring bearer, it must be blocked if able. Interesting.
I've actually made a review about this guy. Yeah. He's casual. Here, yeah, straight up.
Casual? Okay.
Yeah. He's very cheap. Like you can generate ring temptations, and ring temptations are not bad. You basically make him into a attack, draw a card, discard a card. He gains Skulk, so you have something to work with. I would say something like C, because in the end, he's gonna be very consistent doing like draw and discard things by attacking, and he's really cheap. So he's something that could do things.
Yeah, and almost much the same way, we put Bilbo Retired Burglar at C. Like we can't undersell how good the ring temptation is, particularly when it's on the thing. Like there's a way to activate it on the thing. It's pretty good. I mean, you're going to start damaging the board soon enough, and it's cheap to put down. So it's not horrible. We have Frodo Determined Hero for a generic and a white 2/2. Whenever Frodo Determined Hero enters the battlefield or attacks, may attach target equipment you control with mana value 2 or 3 to Frodo. Interesting. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo. If only it said attach with an equipment value of like 1 to 3. I just want to put Colossus Hammer on him. But we're not there. We don't get there. This is okay.
They move on.
Yeah. Here, let's just bang that out. Again, it's not that you couldn't do something with it. It's just that there are certainly better things to do in mono white. And speaking of close to mono white, we have Frodo Sauron's Bane, and it is practical to actually do this. For white Halfling Citizen 1/2 body, you can pay Orzhov. If Frodo Sauron's Bane is a citizen, it becomes a Halfling Scout with base power and toughness 2/3 and lifelink. For triple black, that's right, you're using a Dark Ritual, folks. If Frodo is a Scout, it becomes a Halfling Rogue with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times this game. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. So it's temptation on a creature. It's potential game-winning swing, right? And then there are other ways the rings can tempt you outside of this. If you double down on this effect, I don't think you get that trigger twice.
No.
Right, it just becomes a Halfling Rogue, and then it becomes a Halfling Rogue. Right, so yeah.
It's just very, very expensive.
It is a difficult setup. Yeah. Super fun. Do we want to say, I would say that this is like a D fun list to do. It would be fun to do Sauron. It would not Sauron. It would be fun to do Frodo and have him, knock out players in that way.
Yeah.
It's a little too impractical, but it's not bad. I mean, it's player removal if you damage them, right? Oof. Yeah, I gotta do
but
evasion.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, but no.
He gets invasion from the Ring Temptations, but still no.
Yeah. Galadriel, Elven Queen, for 2 generic and Simic, 4/5 body, Will of the Council. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if another elf enters the battlefield under your control this turn, starting with you, each player votes for Dominion or Guidance. If Dominion gets more votes, the ring tempts you, then put a +1/+1 counter on your ring bearer. If Guidance gets more votes or tied, or is tied for votes, draw a card. This card does not... The ring tempts you. If Dominion gets more votes, the ring tempts you, then put a +1/+1 counter on your ring bearer. Okay.
I think they're really going... Yeah, no, they're not. I think they're going for a lot of voting here. I like that, but no, this is not good. This is very expensive to maybe get a draw card. No, nah.
Are you D again?
Yeah.
We need to...
we are very harsh here, but somewhere down the line, we're even casual has some really strong things you can do in casual.
Right.
So to say.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, this goes firmly in the D territory. Galadriel Gift Giver, however. 3 generic, double green, 4/4. Whenever Galadriel Gift Giver enters the battlefield or attacks, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Create a food token and create a treasure token. Wow. For 5 mana, I get to choose one when she ETBs and when she attacks. I mean, I think we're largely looking at the treasure token here, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather this in mono green or just incorporate red and look for your dock side? I don't know. This feels...
D, move on.
Yeah. D...
It's very expensive to get a treasure.
Yeah, very little value. I wish it worked off of other attacking things, but maybe that's too good for a 5 CMC thing. I don't know. They printed to Vesh, didn't they? Crom. These are just better. These are just better cards. Galadriel and of Lothlorien. For a generic and Simic 3/3 Elf Noble, when the ring tempts you, if you chose a creature other than Galadriel as your ring bearer, scry 3. Whenever you scry, you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card is revealed this way, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. Ooh. Whenever you scry, whenever you may reveal the top card of your library. Interesting. It's really just the second effect I like. Is this... You just play... What's her name? Tatiova? Is she just better?
Yeah.
Is this Galadriel playable? Let's start there.
I don't know. Maybe. It's a very low mana cost.
Yeah. And yes, Nibiru, I'm sorry, we are live. Yeah, you get those or 3 or less. Let me see this.
I think it's... this is something that could actually be... Nah, C!
Go for C.
Yeah, C. It's too... even if it's doing something decent, this is not something stronger decks want to do, so to say. No, I don't think it can go above C.
Right. I think that you can play a fun scry list and cheat out lands this way.
Yes.
Right, and then maybe build a little temptation into your deck because the scry 3 is pretty legit. But yeah,
scry 3 with getting a land from top of deck into play is pretty legit. For only you can, if you have a deck that can make a lot of ring temptations, you could make it do something decent. But yeah, it's
my only qualm is that they come into play tapped. Because, yes, she's low cost, but it is requiring you to cast spells that make you scry. Or maybe there's a scry combo on a creature that I'm unawares of.
you don't even need to like there's so many different blue spells to scry. Like getting the scry part is easy. Like you don't even need to have Ring Temptations. You don't need to scry.
Yeah.
That can be easily achieved with so many like really good blue cards. So yeah, I think it's fine. This is something cEDH.
I like there are scry on landfall triggers. Aren't there scry lands as well?
There are.
Yeah, the temples. That's kind of cool. I actually really like that. I'll still, I think C is fair, and I think that it could be casually played for sure. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, for 3 generic and a blue, 2/4 Avatar Wizard. Flash, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you chose a creature other than Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, as your ring bearer, draw a card. Ooh, some of my favorite text.
This is good. This is actually really good.
In the CZ, in the 99, or both for you? Retreat to
this is never as a commander, or maybe as a commander.
Right,
I don't know how much, if there's enough Ring Temptations in Nova Blue.
Right. I guess if you slap it onto an Isochron Scepter, there is, but...
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I know. Have fun getting there.
I don't think you can put him above C.
No, I agree with you. It's certainly better than D, though.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think it's... Cardra engine inside the night. Nah, it's C. It's gonna be very hard to make. Like, I don't think there's enough Ring Temptation effects to make him work.
No, I agree with you. Just moving these over. All right. And we have Gandalf the Grey. So 3 and Is It for 3/4 Avatar Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Copy target instant sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. So initially, if it didn't say choose one that hasn't been chosen, well, obviously there's a lot of great stuff you could do here. Like any reiterate line will get you there. You could damage out the board. But the fact of the matter is you're ultimately going to have to put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. So
that does not matter because there is actually a combo with him where you copy a tutor effect, and that's all you need.
What's the combo?
I don't remember. The reason I don't remember is because it's bad.
Right. So
there is a 1-card combo with the guy, and I actually have seen people try to play it. Rebel Sun made a review for this Gandalf and showcased the combo. But in the end, it's not great. It's like, at the best, this guy goes to B because he has a 1-card combo that is extremely expensive, and it requires that you remove your commander from the game, basically. So no, it's not good. But
you're making it sound like a C.
Like, sure, I can agree with C. I'm not impressed by this guy.
Well, because I would rather put Gandalf, the Friend of the Shire, in the 99 of a deck than consider playing Gandalf the Grey as my commander. I feel like there's better Spellslinger lists, like some people are mentioning.
Yeah. But all I'm saying that there actually is a combo with this commander, but that combo is not good. But it is a 1-card combo.
How do you... Okay, I'll leave it to the audience. Where do we put Gandalf the Grey? Gandalf the Grey tier. You want it in B? C?
I think in the end B, because I think B, like in the end, because you can do things with him that is a little bit...
I'm gonna leave this one to you guys though. I'm a little tied, but where do you feel Gandalf the Grey should be? So
can I vote?
You can vote. Is it Spellslinger commander that has a 1-card combo potentially, although our friend here can't tell us what it is. So it might not even exist. I'm just kidding. It probably does exist, but I feel like it's, I don't know. Like, it makes me want to move Aemir down here. I can tell you that. Right? Because right, we have to operate with some logic going into this. So if it does have a 2-card combo, I'm just iffy on it itself. It's too hampered where Aemir's
it's actually making making a good statement here about kitten combos with him. I think he has to.
Displacer might be the right line. Yeah.
I think B, honestly, because there are things that is like cEDH wannabe thing, but it's not. It's just a little bit too weak. So B.
All right. Well, I'll ultimately put it where the audience elects to put it, but I can understand with Displacer Kitten in particular. I mean, but anything with Displacer Kitten is going to be amazing. Let's just get that straight. But you are right. It could be in the 99. That could be an effective strategy for you. But I'll leave it to the poll. Once we get through the rest of the Gandalfs, I'll close out the poll. So if you haven't voted, feel free to vote on it now. Gandalf the White.
Finally, a card that has white in its name and is white.
Yeah, they did it. For 3 generic double white, 4/5 Avatar Wizard Flash, you may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Right, so not historics. Oh, poo. If a legendary, permanent, or artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. I don't know what to tell you. I play a lot of mono white. I can't say that this is better than the Elish Norn that just came out. Or if I would really want to play this for that effect. It's cool, the flash, like you can still hold up interaction and then put this down when you need to put it down. It is another thing that operably is going to probably work on with your artifacts more over anything else, like your legendary spells. I don't know what you're really rocking in mono white that's a legendary spell other than a handful of creatures, right? Boromir, there you go. He has flash now.
I think we have to put this in either B or A, because I don't actually have the energy to think about the combos. I will leave that to the chat.
Okay.
Because the reason here is that the part where this guy can create double triggers, there already actually is CSA combos that would utilize this in the 99. But there are other...
CSA, you don't mean the Wooburg
both.
One or the Selesnya?
Both. I would say both. That could utilize this to make combos work.
It'll ease a lot of combos too.
Yeah, he's definitely not a commander.
No.
But he could be doing something inside the 99 for various decks.
Right, so I'm seeing B and B plus and A and A minus. A B plus to A minus. Yeah, okay.
If he had more colors, then he could actually be a decent commander.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the end he will go into the 99, and I don't think we can put him in A, because the combos, the decks that actually want to have him are already functioning pretty well without him.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he can actually go into a few like strange decks here and there means that he should be in B, I think.
I'm fine placing it in B.
He's also a little bit expensive. Like if he was cheaper, then he could go into A easier.
Right.
But he is like
Flagstones of Trocare and Ghost Quarters gives you 3 lands.
I don't think it can become an A.
It's on death too, so KCI stuff, right? Or leaving the battlefield causes triggered ability of a permanent you control.
Yeah, but the end thing is that, like the ultimate thing is that the decks that want to have him already have functional game plans without him. He's not really replacing anything. Like he is a good card that they want to have, but because of power creep, they have better alternatives. That's what I think. Right.
It can win on an opponent's turn, technically, pending your combo. I'm fine placing it in B. I do think the cost is high.
If the cost was cheaper, it could easily go into A.
Yeah,
I think.
The best Gandalf. Let's say that. Well, actually, I don't know if I've read over this one, so this one might be better. Oh my god, there's so many Gandalfs. Okay, Westward Voyager for 3 and a Simic, 5/5. Whenever you cast a spell with a mana value of 5 or greater, each opponent reveals the top card of their library. If any of those cards share a card type with that spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, and each opponent draws a card. Otherwise, you draw a card. I don't know.
Too expensive,
too
gimmicky.
expensive, too gimmicky.
Like,
I'm just moving it to D. You can tell me though, elsewise.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. D.
Gandalf, White Rider, 3 generic and a white 3/3 Avatar Wizard. Vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Scry 1. When Gandalf White Rider dies, you may put it into its owner's library 5th from the top. That's actually a really cool flavor. I think that this is okay. I think that, you know, so far as like casting spells and going wide is concerned, like my favorite list for that is the Zada, the mono red one, right? So like you make a big board, you cast things, and then it allows you to spread that spell to multiple things. This is kind of like that, right? Like you might have some combat tricks or buffs, but it just benefits off of any spell being cast, and then your go wide army gets bigger and you get to scry one. I still think that this is just okay. Like it would be maybe fun casually, but I would probably slot this into D. But you know,
D.
Yeah.
D.
All right. And I think that's it for the Gandalfs. We have. Oh, and on that note, it looks like we're putting the other Gandalf. Oh no, not that one. We're putting the other Gandalf into the B tier. This is Gandalf the Grey. Yeah. Sure, that's fair. Gandalf the Grey in B tier with Gandalf the White. Interesting. I like Shadowfax, but we're still on G. Yeah, Gandalf stinks more than hot smelling socks. Damn. Gilrain, Dinadane Protector for 2 generic and a white 2/3 body human noble. Pay 2, tap, exile another target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you don't, at the beginning of your next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a vigilance counter and a lifelink counter. What's that card you were talking about earlier? The one with counter?
Tayam.
Is this Tayam tech?
No, because this is at the beginning of the next end step, so it won't work. So no.
Is this another hot D?
Yes.
It's a big old D.
Wait a minute.
Go on. I'm gonna put our fun playables just all.
You may return target card. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you don't,
is it
exile another target creature you control. You may return that to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Okay.
Wait, this is actually. I think this is like C tier, casual, because you can actually flicker here pretty easily. Exactly, it's a very bad Eldrazi displays in the command zone. That is good. Like you can make some decent things with it. Right. It's not great. Like it's not great, but it's better than D. It is a good casual deck.
The having to tap is what kind of makes it suffer, but there are things you can do. I mean, I suppose it's like a Village Bellringer thing, but it's not like you have ramp in white for the Village Bellringer. I'm trying to think of how I can manipulate it infinitely. Nothing's immediately coming to mind, so that would mean that there aren't...
Wait. Exile another target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you don't, at the beginning of the next end step, return a card. Wait, this is instant. This actually goes infinite with Village Bellringer.
Right. It's nice because you can do it at instant speed. You can do it so that it happens now or happens later.
Wait a minute. Wait. This card is actually really good. This card is actually really, really good. Exile another target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control.
It's slow, mind you.
No, it's not. It's instant.
No. You have to tap it.
Yes, but you have to tap this.
Right. So by virtue of that, it's slow. It's like it's summoning 6. So you've played it, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. It is a legendary Displacer Kitten that demands that you tap it, but you do get to flicker instantly. You can choose to flicker an end step, or you can choose to flicker instant.
Mm-hmm.
This is good in CSA. This is actually real. This is an alternative to Emil the Blessed with CSA.
Right.
But it's actually already going infinite in green with Village Bellringer or any any creature that untaps everything.
In the command zone by itself, I would still slot it within that D to C range.
Yeah, no, C's definitely C in cash as a commander.
Maybe in the 99 of something it would see more use. Obviously, the benefit of Emil is the fact that you can do it instantaneously. Like this will have to come down and wait unless you have some form of haste enabling. Like you're playing Simba, I don't know.
I actually think you have. I think it's even good outside CSA. I would put it up into A, honestly.
You would put this into A?
Yeah. It can go into some 99s of like.
Is this our first? This is our first A? Hold up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's an alternative. Like if you're able to have a deck that can create, like imagine Thrasios and Thrasios and some other commander like Tymna, Thrasios Tymna, or Thrasios Bruce, and you play Village Bell Ringer, or you play. Voting is good. I will vote for A. Or you play the Great Orc Guardian, something like that. Then you can create infinite mana, cost Thrasios, and win the game.
Right. Yeah, no, this is just another way to do the thing. I don't know if it's any better or more efficient than any of the other options that already exist, right? So Emil and Eldrazi Displacer are like the ones we think about. Eldrazi Displacer has a lot of hiccups in the fact that you need to use colorless specifically. This has the hiccup in that you need to tap it. So
yes,
it is a little bit slower. But it isn't horrible in that. I would still place it in B.
Wait. Actually, you know, regarding how many Dockside Extortionist decks, like this is great with Dockside Extortionist.
Oh, for sure.
Like I mean, if
you're not going to, be able to do it multiple times though, but you'd still need a thing
if you cast a Dockside and you activate this, that's
sure. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think that you're broadcasting though. Like if you put Gilrain down and then they say, "Oh yeah, next turn Dockside on the stack," like of course I'm gonna remove Gilrain.
So but that's a good argument why she's good.
You're saying that she's just a magnet for attacks, like she's your spell kite? Sure. I mean, it's either effective or it's not, right? Like you're giving them the option to tackle this because she's just got to sit there and wait. I think it's a little sluggish and it's not going to be my first choice for a tutor, right? Like you're mentioning Sisay, like I will go for the Emil first. Like it's one more generic to do.
Sisay can't always find Emil. Sisay needs to be a 5/5 to find Emil. So to say.
Right. Sisay is based off power.
Yes.
Oh.
Sisay can find this easier than Emil.
Does this replace Emil in the deck, or what does this replace in that deck? If it doesn't have a slot in that deck already, then I can't say it's A. Do you know what I mean? I understand
it could theoretically actually. I don't think it can replace Emil. Actually, I think. But I don't think it's going to.
I'm going to leave this poll up for you guys for, I don't know, the next 3 cards, the 3 or 4 cards. And I'll let you all determine whether you want it in A or B. I'm resting firmly in B. I'm happy to have it in A, though, if that's what you all agree on. But yeah, it's just sluggish. Like, I don't really see it.
I don't think it's just Sisay that likes this. I think other decks could like this too.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like we mentioned, like there are plenty of ETB untapped things that matter.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. It's like you have, even if you have Spellseeker, you have a Dockside, and some other things.
Right. You mentioned Great Oak Guardian, and
yeah.
Right. It's fine. I think we can move on though. I'll let you guys take it away, but it's not horrible. It's surprisingly better than I would
like. Even in casual as a commander, you can play a very big ETB deck. Like you get this commander to play quite easily early in the game, and then you can sit an ETB your cute casual creature. So in C,
I'm trying to remember the cost of Livio's effects, because like Livio is not valued highly, but he flickers too. He's a little bit slower. Return all exiled cards with the counter. It's 5 to do that. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Because Livio list will use, like Livio Kodama list will use Village Bell Ringer. All right. Moving on. I think very quickly we can go through these next ones because counter of kills Gimli is not great. 3 generic and a red 4/3, trample. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, Gimli deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. What do you think about that?
Give me a second. I need to.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Wait until this.
I
think people have been talking about this.
Gimli counter of kills.
It's bad.
Wait, what have they been saying?
No, it was another Gimling. It was another Gimlin.
Oh, okay.
This one is not good. There's another Gimling that is we're gonna get to. That's
I'll put him at the D then. But Mournful Avenger. I think Glittering Caves might be the one that makes treasures. That might be the one you're thinking of.
Yes, that's the one.
So for generic and Gruul, 3/2 Dwarf Warrior, Gimli Mournful Avenger. It's important to note that these Gimlis are dwarves, so I'm assuming that people want these in Magda decks. So the one that makes treasures is probably something potentially Magda tech, but
that one is actually good for Magda.
Right. Gimli Mournful Avenger has indestructible as long as 2 or more creatures died under your control this turn. My lord, what a high setup. And let me just get rid of that. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Gimli. When this ability resolves for the 3rd time this turn, he fights a creature you don't control. That is a lot of creatures dying. And it has to be a creature you control. That's really the bit that bothers me. It can't just be something that died on the battlefield. It has to be something you control. That really hampers this card quite a bit, in my opinion.
A D, I think.
Yeah.
D.
Even like the expansion in color, like being Gruul, it just feels rough as hell. I don't like that whatsoever. Yeah. So not we're running out of space in D. This is why we didn't do T last time. We have Gimli, the Glittering Caves. For 2 generic and a red, white, a 1/1 rather, Dwarf Warrior, double strike. Ooh, double strike. And with a combat damage trick. Hold up. Whenever another legendary enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Gimli of the Glittering Caves. Wouldn't this have been great if it said partners with Legolas? Whenever Gimli deals combat damage, and why didn't they do a Gimli that partners with Legolas? But
I agree with that.
It's so obnoxious. Like this one just it's like, please partner me with something, and no. Whenever Gimli deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. All right, fire away. What do you think?
This is amazing in the Magda, straight up. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. So you would do this before Magda and to put a 1/1 counter potentially, or do you just whatever order they come out? Because the second the first triggered ability I don't see.
No, it's the second ability where you attack and you create, basically if you have Magda in play, you create 3 treasure tokens with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. Like, yeah, I think he has to go to A, honestly.
A for Magda?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never lost to a Magda, and I'm sorry if you play Magda. She's fine. I've never lost to a Magda. That isn't to say it's bad, but like if this is in the 99 of Magda and it makes it better, then
like this is gonna be one of the best Magda cards, and Magda is better than Godo. Okay, where would you put Godo?
Like I said, it's pretty damn good so far as monocolor is concerned. I would put Godo at A easily.
Then Magda is
proven list.
I think Magda is better than Godo, straight up.
Right. I mean, what you could do against Godo, I guess, is just Praetor's Grasp their helm, but like, is that your main
You can do more, like, you can do more than that.
Right. There's plenty of things that you can do to stop it, like a Torpor Orb stops him from finding the helm.
Magda wins, like, mention every stacks piece that Magda is hit by.
Right.
Then you count all the interactions that hit Godo, and you will end up that Godo is hit more by stacks pieces than Magda. So Godo is more easily interacted with, and you have a game plan with Magda if you're not winning the game with Magda.
I'll play Godo, you play Magda on stream, and we'll see what happens. Or we'll just do all mono red. We'll put Heaven there. We'll do all the top mono red list and just see which one comes out on top. I mean, I think that some of that's going to be attributed to piloting, and then obviously player order.
I think that's going to go down all to opening hands, because
that
that pod will have 0 interaction So if someone actually has Tibble Trickery in the game, that I think that's going to be a very strange pod. I think the best way to just see what commander actually gets there is by looking at tournament results. And like people
has
aren't,
Magda
I don't know.
Winning? Has Magda been
Magda has won a tournament.
Okay.
Well, 7-0.
You're gonna win one game, I think. You're gonna win one game, I think, with Goda, and lose the rest. I think once they figure out what's going on, I just like the explosiveness of Goda. Like, you can win on turn 1 very easily with the right hand, and there are a couple of combinations of cards that are the right hand. You know what I mean? But Gimli, the Glittering Caves, you say it's a slam dunk in Magda. I think that's fine. Is it a slam dunk anywhere else?
Nah.
Right, because it's on damage. Yes, it has double strike. It could potentially make 2 treasures, but it's a 1/1. And let's be honest, it's not going to get +1/+1 counters easily.
It's a little bit too expensive. Like, 3 mana is quite a lot. It's like Magda will love it quite a lot. But like, other than that,
it's just mind-boggling though that
you can have it in
2 CMs. They printed a card from the same like world that's just leagues better than every other thing that you can relate it to. Like Orcish Bowmasters is just so good at 2 CMC as just like destructive power. Sorry, and they're different things, but it's.
I think I can put it in B just because it's like it's only good in Magda, so sure.
Right.
But yeah. So
I would like to see it be playable in more things, but I think it's fine at B, sure. And I think we can maybe end the poll on our girl here, Gilrain. And it looks like she slots to B for the audience. And I'm cool with that. Cool with either, but I'm cool with that. It's not bad. Like I'm always on the lookout for new Exile shenanigans, like new Flicker shenanigans, so I'm happy with that. Let's do that. Okay. Gimli, we're moving on to Gloin, Dwarf Emissary, 2 generic and a red, 3/3 Dwarf Advisor. Whenever you cast a historic spell, create a treasure token. That... Okay. This trigger was only once each turn. Okay. Sacrifice a treasure, goad target creature. If it didn't only trigger once each turn, it would be extraordinary. Am I mistaken? Glowing Dwarf Emissary is fine. I don't know if I'm into it for just the one trigger. The goading a creature is kind of cool, but just okay.
It's good. Like, I mean, it's a very weak Birgi, basically.
Right.
On the other hand, you get to keep your mana. Like, it's very hard to toss away something that is creating treasures these days, actually.
Yeah, even if it's only once each turn. And it's not like it's a difficult... on a historic cast.
I want to put this in C, because in the end, someone could actually utilize this to get a lot of treasures.
Right. I can honestly see this in C. I'm happy with that, because it's not a bad card by any means.
No, it's a good card.
Right, and I could actually see using the goad too to remove something that might be blocking me. That might otherwise block me, excuse me. Not bad. Okay, C, I'm fine with C there. Need to put some things in C. We've got Glorfindel, Dauntless Rescuer, 2 generic and a green, 3/2 body, elf noble. Whenever you scry, choose one of Glorfindel. Choose one, and Glorfindel Rescuer gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's kind of cool. Must be blocked to Fable, or can't be blocked by more than 1 creature each combat this turn. That reads like a D to me.
Yes.
Okay. There's just so many legendaries to get out for the flavor from this set, but a lot of them just don't hit the mark, sadly. And that's one of them. Goldberry, she's got combos, but is she any good? For a generic and a blue, 1/3 Nymph, tap. Move a counter of each kind not on Goldberry, River Daughter, from another target permanent you control onto Goldberry. Pay a blue and tap. Move 1 or more counters from Goldberry onto another target permanent you control. If you do, draw a card.
D, move on. Or a C. I mean, there could be some C.
There's a Magosi combo with this. The land with the Eon counter. You can make a counter on Magosi. but it makes you skip your next turn. However, if you have a proliferator, you can move the Eon counter to Goldberry, proliferate, move the Eon counter to Magosi, and then have it bounce itself to your hand and take an extra turn. Play Magosi as your land for next turn, proliferate, Eon counter.
C. Let's go C. Yeah, okay. That's just, yeah.
It's weird, it's doable, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I would say fun C. A fun C.
Yes, deck. Yes. This could be fun C. I think this should be fun C. Yeah, fun C. This is fun C.
This is funsies. Yeah. Golem Obsessed Stalker. This is not the good one. Well, it's okay. For a generic and a black 1/1 Skulk Halfling Horror, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent dealt combat damage this game by a creature named Golem Obsessed Stalker loses life equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. I don't want to think hard enough to make this work in mono black. I just don't. I think the Skulk is helpful for the effect, but I think all in all that this is just a bad card.
Yes, it's bad.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we can come to a conclusion on that one quickly.
Yes,
just okay.
It's like yeah.
But we have Patient Plotter. For a generic and a black 3/1 body, when it leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. You can pay a black, sacrifice a creature, return Golem from your graveyard to your hand, activate its sorcery speed. If you have some sort of as additional cost sacrifice or sack strategy in the command zone, this is kind of cool in the 99 because it's recurable. But it's also sacrifice in the graveyard for your Protean Hulk. But,
yes.
So this might be part of like a pile, like a Buried Alive?
Nah, not really. This is awesome in Pauper Commander. It's actually really, really good in Pauper Commander. Other than that, it's bad.
Would you say?
I don't think you should have this in. Yeah, C. Let's go C.
Like if it's actually playable in Pauper, it could be casually placed.
Yeah, I think casually placed is like this is not super terrible, but it's yeah.
Yeah, not super terrible. It's like the bar here. Everything is so low. Like nothing's hit A yet, or at least that we've all agreed upon.
This is a casual channel right now.
It's feeling that way. Scheming Guide Golem, which is a generic and a black 2/1 Halfling Horror. Whenever Golem Scheming Guide attacks, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put them back in any order, then choose land or non-land. An opponent guesses whether the top card of your library is the chosen kind. Reveal that card. If you guessed right, remove Golem from combat. Otherwise, you draw a card and Golem can't be blocked this turn. It's okay. It's okay.
No. Yeah, sure.
It's okay, and I'm going to say it's a D.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Because
I don't just play Dark Confidant if you want the draw.
Yes.
I know we really desperately wanted this to just be playable in the 99, but I don't see it that way, and I don't really see it as your commander either.
No.
Okay, so we've got Gorebag of Minas Morgul. For a generic and a black 2/2 body orc soldier. Whenever a goblin or orc you control deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, choose draw a card, create a treasure token.
It's actually pretty good, but there's just this demand that you have to do it with goblins. So no.
Right, and there's not a tutor. I wish if it was a goblin, it would be much more playable because you'd be able to tutor it more easily. But as it stands, it's an orc, very awkwardly subtyped. I mean, it's Gorebag, so I guess that makes sense.
I mean, if this just had creature on it, it would be pretty amazing.
Oh my god, it's draw and treasure, or your choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down to. I don't want to say it's unplayable because those are 2 very good effects, but I don't know where you play it.
I think this is C because.
Those are good effects, but it's hard
like
to do.
The effects are so good enough that it kind of have to be going into C.
Build around C99, not your commander.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I maybe there's some goblin token. Most of the goblin token generation is in red, so you are missing out on that. So that would be what
Yeah.
this guy would really want. But Gothmog Morgul Lieutenant for 3 generic and a black 3/3 body human soldier. When Gothmog Morgul Lieutenant enters the battlefield, amass orcs 1. Creatures you control have death touch. This is D. Right? Am I missing something for Gothmog?
No.
Okay. Good. Glad. Next page. All right. We're on the final stretch here, which is a lot of cards. I think, okay, we could try to speed through these, but it was inevitable. We're hitting a lot of fodder. I think what we want to do at this point is just
I think we can just move them in a collective. I don't think you need to bring some of these.
No. Yeah, so we're not going to move the rest of the D's from here on out to the audience. We're going to ignore them. So we're just going to read through the cards and say if it's a D. If not, we'll put it on the board. Because we're running out of space, and a lot of these are going to be D's. Saruman's Footman for 2 generic and a Dimir, 1/4 body. It can't be blocked. Whenever Grima deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcerer. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then that player puts the exiled card those exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. I know we have one more card on the next page. I know. I would say Grima is actually okay, but I would still put it in D range.
Nah, this is like...
It can't be blocked. It can't be blocked. It's just 4.
Yeah.
It's a 4 cost.
Can you scroll down Can you scroll down a tiny bit? I can't see the entire card.
A, B. Oh damn!
It's a bit too expensive for A, but I think this could go into B. Honestly, it's actually pretty good.
My qualm is that it's a 4-drop, do nothing. But
that's why it's B. That's why it's B.
Right. I don't think it's
because you're always you're usually hitting good targets with this,
unless you're not. But yeah, all right.
Like the worst case scenario, hitting like a dark ritual.
Yeah, or a counterspell needlessly.
Yeah, counterspell, but like this is B, definitely B. Like it's.
I don't know if it's gonna see play.
That's why B. Like B is very bad section, right? B is not really cEDH. It's just bad.
It's build around. B is build around. If you think it's build aroundable, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Grima Wormtongue for 2 generic and a black. Steal that ad naus. Yeah, but it's 99 cards you're digging through, or 80 whatever at the point you get to using Grima. So I don't know. Your opponents can't gain life. It's a 1/4. Right. Your opponents can't gain life. Tap, sacrifice another creature. Target player loses 1 life. If they sacrifice a legendary creature, amass 2 orcs. If the sacrificed creature was legendary, excuse me, the one you sacrifice. D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, D.
Grishnak, Brash Instigator for 2 generic and a red, 1/1 Goblin Soldier. When Grishnak enters the battlefield, amass 2 orcs. When you do, until end of turn, gain control of target non-legendary creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the amassed army's power. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. If it let me hit creatures and I could take a Tymna, that would be kind of cool. But as it stands, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, D.
Yeah, I would rather just run Claim the Firstborn in the body of the 99 over this, even if it is a body. Yeah. 2 bodies, technically. Gwahir, Greatest of the Eagles for 4 generic and a white 5/5 bird noble. Flying, of course. Whenever Gwahir attacks, target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. Cool. At the beginning of your Yeah. I'm there with you.
Sorry. But
how about the Windlord, though, for an Azorius? 4/4 body. This spell costs 2 less to cast as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Flying, vigilance. Other birds you control have vigilance. D.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not gonna do that. Haldir, Lorien Lieutenant, Exeter Green, 0/0 body. It's already looking good, people. Haldir, Lorien Lieutenant, enters the battlefield, X/1/1 counters on it. Vigilance. You can pay 5 and a green. Until end of turn, other elves you control gain vigilance and +1/+1 for each +1/+1 on Haldir. This is potentially playable.
Maybe
D?
CD, DC, don't care. D.
D.
Nah, no, D. Not D. Bad.
Yeah. Aurora the Healing House for 2 generic and a blue, 1/4, human cleric. Untap another target creature, or untap 2 other target legendary creatures.
What's the CMC cost of this?
3. It's interesting for sure. It's interesting for sure. It's 2 generic and a blue.
And you can untap 2 target legendary creatures.
Another target permanent or 2 other legendary creatures. So untapping a target permanent is pretty legit. Like you get your Grim Monolith, your Manifold, whatever back.
This feels like something CC would make busted, but
Scorpion says C
wait,
B
this
with Sakashima.
No, this has to be an A somehow. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This feels like it has to be an A. If the cards doesn't exist now, eventually the cards will exist. Like she feels A, honestly. I'm not gonna say S because in the end you have to tap her. She's suffering from summoning sickness.
Right. I kind of put her.
Yeah, this is definitely A, 100%.
Right. You're saying when paired with Sisei. Does Sisei tap to do the ability?
No, there are other commanders that could utilize her too. There's this new Tasri that could definitely utilize this. This feels like a very good Tasri inclusion too.
I wish it said up to 2 other, because it does specifically require that there are 2 other target legendary creatures.
That's not a but that doesn't matter because the first ability is just a 1. Untap another target permanent, so that doesn't matter.
Right, but
like if you only want to target 1 thing, that's already solved. If you want to target 2 things, that's So
okay. I mean, there are just other ways to do that effect that are. You have Kiora's follower, and it's cheaper and it's better. Right. Like
but this is untapping. Yes, but this is untapping 2 things. That's the thing.
That's my point, though. Like, how practical is that? Right.
It's very practical.
But like you're saying, you would just do the top effect. I'm like, well, why don't you just run Kiora's follower if that's how you're going to do it, right? So
no, what I said was, you said if it had untapped 1 or more 2 target legendaries, but I said it already has that.
Right. I'm
with
just saying
its first ability.
But it's that second ability is hampered. So I'm like, I'm trying to see the scenarios
where is the second ability hampered?
That you need to have 2 other target legendary creatures.
And that's what I said. You have the first ability.
Right. And I said, why not run Kiora's follower because it's cheaper?
Because Kiora's follower can't untap 2 legendary creatures.
Right.
That's the ability you're going for. I know what Kiora's follower is doing. It is untapping another target permanent.
Yeah, I don't see the use case for the second ability here. Not immediately.
It can go infinite with things.
Let me know if you guys have it. Give me mana abilities. That's true. A legendary artifact or so. Yeah, that's true. You can do your, what is it? Mox. Which Moxen is legendary? The Mox Amber is legendary? A legendary
they have to be creatures. They have to be creatures.
A legendary copy of it would die on arrival. And plus any legendary creature that adds mana.
The creature we're looking for is Samut.
Are you referring to the
Naya Samut? She's a creature that can untap a creature. So you untap Samut and a Giganta. Wait a minute. Wait. This is solving the... Yeah, this is A tier. No, this is S tier. Yeah, this is S tier. Straight up. It is an up... It's for CC Giganta.
With Giganta with Companion.
Or Sakashima.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you. You cannot talk me down to putting this below A tier. The chat is correct. Sakashima does it.
How? yeah. That was mentioned earlier. How do you spell Giganta?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Giganta. Yeah, I think Sakashima is the big one here.
Right. I wouldn't want to run that. But doesn't it need to be multiple colors to be in the deck?
No?
If it's your companion?
Well, no, okay. Sakashima is just blue free.
Sure.
But here's the thing. So you don't have to do this with only Giganta. You can do this with Sakashima and it will work perfectly. You can do it with Giganta and it would work perfectly.
Thank you.
You can replace Nagela completely with this. Because what you have is you find Samut and then you find this thing, you untap Samut and you untap Giganta, and boom, you have infinite.
That's a really big setup.
No, it's not. Because you find everything from CC and Giganta. You cast Giganta from companion zone. You cast CC.
Well, you pay Giganta. 3, you pay 3, you cast Giganta.
Yeah. You activate CC with Giganta, find Samut. You can untap, no, you find Revi. You untap Giganta, tap it, find Samut. And then you go to combat and you get enough triggers to make more activations. So you find this thing, and now you can go infinite, still during combat.
Sorry. Yeah.
But you don't need to do that. You can also just go Sakashima. And with Sakashima in this, they go infinite together.
Sure. I don't think it's S tier, though, for that.
This is like... this is something CC without Giganta could utilize greatly too, when I think about
it. Thanks. I don't remember how to split Giganta because I don't see this deck outside of Rebel playing it. No card in your deck have more than one of the same mana symbol in its mana cost. Has more than one of the same mana symbol. Okay, that's the hiccup. Needs more testing for sure. Yeah, and even with testing, I don't see this breaching S tier because it's not okay. To me, what's S tier is ad nauseum. That's S tier, right? If I'm looking at this purely as a utility in the 99, it needs to do a lot by itself purely. It needs to do just a lot.
Sure,
I mean, Orcish Bowmaster's S tier. That does a lot by itself, by your opponents. This, I put it down, it does nothing, and then maybe it does something with 2 to 3 other cards you listed. It can't be S tier for that alone. Say A.
Wait, stop. You're looking at Giganta, and I'm at the wrong thing.
No.
Giganta and CC is everything
Sakashima, from anything. Any
No. I'm telling you, the combo setup I told you doesn't require that you have anything from the 99. It's everything from the command zone. You're looking at it wrong. But I'm gonna be fine and say this is something you can have inside A tier. It's fine.
Sure. Yeah, I to be frank, I'm not seeing how it happens without multiple cards. By itself, it's okay. Am I wrong? How many cards does it require to do the thing by itself?
Sakashima and this will go infinite together.
In mono blue, sure.
Right. No, mono blue. Yeah, if you have Sakashima is partner, so you can have 3 colors.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So
you can have Sakashima. Okay, that would be 2 colors. You can have Sakashima Thrasius in this, and you have But I think the use case of this is in CC, Weatherlight Captain, basically.
3 cards, Sokka, the blue card, and a tap creature. Okay, so it's a 3-card combo with Sakashima. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's a lot of moving parts.
No, you're looking at it wrong because
So Sokka's in the command zone.
That varies. Sakashima could be in the command zone or Sakashima could be in the 99. But what you have is combo assemblers. For example, let me ask you this.
Don't you need a 3rd legendary creature? I think they're suggesting that. Yeah.
That's solvable. Think of it this way. Undual Breach, Lion's Diamond, Brain Freeze. That's a 3-card combo. But it's how you assemble it that is actually making it how it matters. It's very easy to assemble Undual Breach, Brain Freeze, Lion's Diamond. That's why it's playable. So
you have the budget for intuition. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you have more ways.
I get what
intuition is not the only way.
I get what you're saying.
I can list like a really big. Take for example a protein hall combo that can list like 7 cards, but the assembler to the entire combo is just 2 cards, so to say.
Right. I can't say that this effect by itself is any better than any other untap engine that also combos for a win. Not even A tier.
That's actually not true, because this is like one of the few things that actually untap 2 things. Like if you go down the line and look at
legendaries. All right. So what are the two? What's the Sokka line? Right. Break it down for me.
You would use something.
Gigantha, Lorath, and Sakashima gives infinite colored mana. Okay. Sure. And we're pretending like that's just easy to do. How much does Sakashima cost?
4.
Right. So the beauty of like the whole Underworld Breach play with intuition and Savines and all that is it's very mana efficient and mana's involved in the combo. But like Sakashima and Gigantha are expensive, but Lorath doesn't have haste either, so she'll need to have been down, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that's like apples to oranges, because the Underworld Breach thing is probably going to happen immediately. This takes a while.
No, I mean you activate.
If you have somewhat right, you can. I mean,
no. You pass turn in your last opponent's. This is gonna be depending on the deck, so to say. But the deck that I'm talking about here, kinda is like this is a CSA tech basically. Mm-hmm. So you activate in your last opponent's end step, and you find this. You go to your turn, boom, you win. More or less, depending on.
I don't know why Kapwing is doing that for you guys. It's like blinking white. Sorry about that.
But I think A tier is where it feels
it's always good. A mana combo plus the 3 legends ability with Sokka.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'm fine with wherever you guys want to put it. I think it's okay. It's cool. For King of Oathbreakers, 2 generic Orzhov 3/3, Spirit Noble Flying. Whenever King of Oathbreakers or another spirit you control becomes target of a spell, it phases out. Cheeky. Whenever King of Oathbreakers or another spirit you control phases in, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. This is really cool.
Skull Clamp.
Yeah, C for sure. It's better than a D though. That's really cool.
Yeah. Like this is C.
Like really good built-in evasion, bodies, and they're flying too, so you could do stuff with them. I don't know what your strategy is if you're going wide with it, but that's cool. cEDH also, even just this finding this on end step, getting 2 activations on next turn. Sure. Seems meh. You would need Gigantha and her in play turn before.
You can have what you probably just gonna use is what's her name? Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, usually, I think.
Mm-hmm. Land Roval, Horizon Witness for 4 generic and a white. Whenever 2 or I'm just gonna get to the abilities. Whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, target attacking creature you control without flying gains flying. D. Correct. Not to move over the Bird Noble. Legolas counter of kills for 2 generic and a Simic 2/3 elf archer. Reach. Whenever you scry, if Legolas counter of kills is tapped, you may untap it. Do this only once each turn, of course. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a 1/1 counter on Legolas.
The D.
D again?
D.
So bad. Yeah. All the Legolas are pretty bad, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Gang.
Legolas is bad. Gimlin is the cool guy, and I cheer for the orcs. Every battle, I was like, orcs!
Yeah. Honestly, the orcs got some pretty cool cards in this one. D.
Yeah, orcs are the winners.
Are we all agreeing on Legolas? Like all the Legolas? The chat is just saying D.
D, yeah.
Do you just want me to read? All the Legolas are bad. I'm just to say they're D.
Yeah, move.
Yeah, just
Legolas is just a D character. It's the orcs.
But that's such a shame because he's so badass.
No, he's not.
In the films.
No, he is not.
Don't do him dirty like that. He took down an elephant by himself.
Man. It's Gimlin and the orcs. Okay. That's what we're here for.
Okay. Lobelia, Defender of Bag N for 2 generic and a black 2/2. When she enters the battlefield, look at the top card of each opponent's library and exile those cards face down. You can tap her and sacrifice an artifact. Choose 1. Until end of turn, you may play a card exiled with by Lobelia without paying its mana cost. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I honestly like this Lobelia a lot. I think that's pretty potent.
This is absolutely amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. We agree. We agree. So ETBs, you just exile the top of libraries. They don't see it. It's not a reveal. You get to see it and put it face down.
It's face down.
Right. It's really good. Obviously, this is the one that wanted Flash, right? So
yeah. If this had Flash, I would sit here and go like, we're gonna have this in S tier, 100%, without a question.
How do
because you steal Vamp Tutors.
Right. Exactly. Like, if this could have been a response, that
to
would be
be
amazing.
Fairly honest, the amount of times people are doing Imperial Seals makes it like almost going into like S tier. However, this card makes Scheming Symmetry absolutely amazing.
Right.
Because you can be like, I'm gonna Scheming Symmetry, and people are gonna think you're gonna win. So it doesn't really matter what you're gonna put on top of the library, and then you cast this.
Right. Exactly.
So I will actually fight for this to be like A tier, but I don't think it's S tier.
Right. I mean, Scheming Symmetry is not mainlined in any deck, and I don't think that Lobelia being in the 99 is an excuse enough to run Scheming Symmetry. If you're playing Lobelia as your commander, yeah, Scheming Symmetry is amazing tech. And
I actually think Scheming Symmetry is starting to be like a card you should actually start to include inside cEDH almost, because like
is it
the fact.
Oh, sorry.
I think Scheming Symmetry is starting to be a card you can actually start to play in cEDH actually, because of how fast it is.
I've seen people removing Imperial Seal from their list. Which says a lot. Yeah.
That's incorrect.
I know. Like, I think my Alex, who you guys might remember from the show, he modeled a deck after a Bosch and Rolls Blue Farm list, and I was looking through it, and he's like, "Yeah, they don't use Imperial Seal anymore." So I hope I'm not mistaken. And but when I looked at his deck, it wasn't in there. I'm like, does he not run it? And I'm like, okay, well, put it back in for me when I was playing it. But yeah, I was like staggered. I don't know. But
well, even if this isn't actually like hitting Imperial Seals here and there, you're still stealing a card that you cost for free.
Right.
So
and it's more than just like top deck tutor. It's every opponent. So I like this a lot. I could go B to A, honestly.
A. Definitely A. I think.
Right.
It's like it's not gonna take over the format. It's not like an auto include, but it's like it's yeah.
Do you guys like A here? I'm seeing B in the 99, C general. Right. But yeah, and I hope I'm not getting that wrong, chat, but when I had Alex's deck and I was playing with him, his Blue Farm, it was lacking Imperial Seal, and he said he modeled it after his deck. So it might have just been a mishap, but yeah, that was the truth. But I think Lobelia, I'm fine to put it in A if you feel comfortable with A.
Yeah.
The Sackville Baggins, I'm going to say D.
Yeah.
And
move on.
Lord of Nazgul, I know people want to talk about these Wraith Nobles. So it's 3 generic and a Dimir, 4/3 Wraith Noble flying. Wraiths you control have protection from the Ring Bearer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 3/3 black Wraith creature token with Menace. Then, if you control 9 or more Wraiths you control have base power and toughness 9/9 until end of turn. Obviously, this is maybe like a fun Wraith tribal. I mean, there are Wraiths in the set too, outside of Lord of Nazgul.
This is very expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, I could see people wanting to build this for fun. I can't say it's anything more than a casual deck.
Yeah, C or D.
Yeah, I'll do C. We're not doing Ds anymore, but I'll do C fun Cs. Bosch is also just really good Magic player too, so I bet you give Solidless. Yeah, exactly. He's a tournament grinder, so to my understanding, so he'd probably play anything effectively. Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. I like this card quite a bit. So for Orzhov 2/1 body Halfling Rogue, whenever a player casts their second spell each turn that includes you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. So we're brewing this coming Wednesday. I have high hopes for it. Obviously, it's not draw in the command zone, which everyone loves. But I will say it mitigates a lot of it's like mana issues you'll find in Orzhov, and you'll be able to I know people look at this and say, well, is this going to be a good fast NOS deck because you're lacking red? You know, all of your rituals are in red and black. But it does because you're creating treasures. Now, I don't think anyone's going to slow play on account of Lotho. And I do think that you could play Lotho very easily on turn 1. Turn 2, the latest, clearly. I think it's good. I can't say that this is the best ad nos commander in the world. I would say that there's like a build around competitive list, and I would put it in B. And in the
No.
99, it's good.
No.
You know, like
I'm gonna say this guy's S tier. Absolutely
Really?
S tier. This guy could literally be. I don't think it is, but some people could actually argue, and I could see the arguments that this is actually the best card inside the entire set.
I like it a lot, and I've been arguing with people for a while now. And the way I see constructing it is it's either Lotho Luris, which would be very effective, or you could just do Lotho by himself.
If you want to play this as the commander,
Right.
then he is not that great. But it's something you want to have inside the 99.
So
because if you get this guy into play, like turn 1 or turn 2, which is very easily something you can do, you're usually going to have like 3 treasures your next turn.
Right.
That means, because like, think of this card like a Smothering Tide. The big difference between Smothering Tide and this is that Smothering Tide is like 4 mana. It's quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2. Now the effect isn't as equally strong, of course, but the part where you get it into play so low is where it can just give you so much value early in the game. And you can like turn 2 Adnos from this card only. You can cast some of your big expensive commanders turn 2 easily with this guy. Cisse will love this. This is an auto-include must. Like, I think this is an auto-include for Cisse. Straight up.
Sure. So,
and not just Cisse. I think Tuna Crom, depending on the build, could start to play this. There are decks that are playing Magda inside the 99. This will be great inside those decks where they have Magda inside the 99. Mardu have started to have a Magda inside the 99 just because they can find Bola Citadel, and Mardu is on this color identity. So I can see this going into various decks here and there. It's not like a busted card. Like, we're looking at a decent set overall, but I think this is an S tier.
Okay, let me just ask you. At least. Okay, we're going to see a lot of Orcish Bowmasters going into commander decks, including black, from here on out. And Lotho will fold to every one of those, right? So we know that as a fact. Do you run Monologue Tax at all?
What's the card again?
For 2 generic and a white enchantment, whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you create a treasure token. Now, let me just state, Monologue Tax, I do not see it in my meta. It's an effect that is very similar in tone. It is easier to cast. However, it does not operate on you casting spells. So I do think that is a detriment to the card. However, it has not seen play for as long as it's been out. I don't know if Lotho is that much better. I do like Lotho because it has more tutors to find it. Enchantments are, by and large, the hardest things to search up. Not many people are running the idyllic tutors of the world, right? And outside of black, you can tutor up anything. But generally speaking, Monologue Tax is not what you'll jump for. Smothering Tithe does see play because it is an effective tax effect, and people aren't generally trying to pay for the tax. I think people should play more Monologue Tax, to be honest. Yeah.
However, the part where the big difference is it's 1 less mana. That's huge.
For creatures. I understand this to say pulling a creature.
The second part is that it will trigger on yourself too. So it will always do something.
Right.
Like,
no, and I acknowledge that. I'm just saying, outside of Sisse, there are a shit ton of legends in this game, and we're looking at a handful now. In every deck, like, which lists want to use this, right? Will incorporate.
I think a lot of decks could start to utilize this.
Sure. I don't think that there's going to be a wave of people playing Monologue Tax anytime soon. And I think that this is better and is more easily tutorable, provided your deck has green. So it's a very easy thing to shoot out there. I think it's just as effective as like Crom's ability, obviously more so because it works off of you for treasures. Okay, Crom draws, I get that. I still think that it's a B. I can be convinced that it's an A, but I can't say that it's an S just by virtue of the fact that there is another example of this card, though not a direct comparison, and it doesn't see much play.
They are very, like, Monologue Tax is very different. I don't think they're that similar, because the fact that this will trigger on yourself, Monologue Tax does not trigger on yourself.
Right, that's the only difference. That's barring you have two spells to cast into it, right? Like, barring you have 2 spells to cast into it, because at some point you're going to run out of hand.
The other difference is that it's 1 less mana too. Right, that makes a huge part. Like, you can get this into play turn 1 with a Lotus Petal or a Crow Mox or a Mox Diamond or a Gemstone Caverns and opening hand. So this will come into play fast early in the game.
Right, but I could say the same thing with a Gemstone Caverns and a Soul Ring, or a Mana Crypt in a land with Monologue Tax. Like, it's 2 generics easily playable, right? Like Ancient Tomb and a Lotus Petal, right? So I think there's an equivalent amount of turn 1 plays for Monologue Tax. I think that, you having to cast your second spell, I feel like I don't know how often you will trigger that.
You will do that. You will trigger that a lot.
Monologue Tax is a lot worse. I agree.
Like
I think they're both. I know for a fact Lotho is better, but I'm saying that we have an example of a similar effect, and it's
no. I don't think that Monologue Tax is that similar. Like, this will be better than Monologue Tax just because you can trigger it yourself.
Sure.
And that can help out quite a lot.
Right, yeah. So
but also you are going to get triggers from your opponents quite often.
Right, yeah.
I also think people actually have forgotten about Monologue Tax, because when it came, people might have just overlooked it and moved past it.
There was a wave, like it was like $20 initially. I think, like, I remember trying to pick it up initially and it was very expensive, and now they're $5 to $3. Yeah, so not bad. I agree with local game guy. cEDH, like, cast him turn 2, then cast 0-drop, make treasure. Yeah, but you're not going to want to hold your 0-drop for that. And you'll effectively want to use the Mox Diamond or whatever you can, but I don't think that if it's your commander, you're obviously going to do what you can to put him down early. If it's in the 99 and you can wait, then yes, wait, obviously. It can happen at any moment, though. So obviously you'll want this to be operating off turn as well. So the thing is, you need to account for draw in this instance. You just need to make sure you have the spells to actually work into this. This is a tough one to grade. I still think it's like an A, but if we want to go S, and we can maybe leave it to the audience, we can go with that. So I think
making a vote here could be fine.
Right. I'm going to leave it
I will vote for S.
I'm going to leave it between S and A. And I won't open it up, because I saw some comments saying lower than that. I saw some comments for B. So
I think that's like when you're playing it as a commander, then I would say B. I don't think this is like a great commander, but inside the 99, it's awesome.
I'm actually more excited for it as a commander. So I'm curious to see if it's any good when we brew it Wednesday, because I want to get another list in paper, and I was really heavily contemplating brewing this. I just always wanted an excuse to use a companion, and Lurrus in this just looks too fun not to play. But I'll let you guys vote, and wherever it lands, it lands. We'll give this a little while, I think, on the poll, because this is definitely one of the more interesting conversation pieces. But yeah, I land on A personally. We have Mahur Urukai, captain for Rakdos. I'm just going to read the effects. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on an army, goblin, or orc you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Is there a combo that I'm immediately not seeing here? Or where do you feel this one lands? I'm iffy. There's a lot of +1/+1 manipulation stuff already in the world, but this is specific for armies, goblins, and orcs.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's rough. Meneldor D.
Yeah.
Meneldor Swift Savior for 3 generic and a blue 3/3 bird soldier. Whenever Meneldor Swift Savior deals combat damage to a player, it is flying. Exile up to 1 target creature you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. Nah. I'm sure there's like a infinite additional combat. Wait, aggravated assault, dockside extortionist, metal door.
Well, we already have that.
He's like,
in other commanders, like Power Creep, we have other commanders doing the same thing, but better. Like, what's the name? Brago, King Eternal.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's too cute. And play Brago instead. Meriadoc Brandybuck for a generic and a green 2/2 halfling citizen. Whenever one or more halflings you control attacks a player, create a food token. Mary Esquire of Rohan, Boros, 2/2 haste. Mary Esquire of Rohan has first strike as long as it's equipped. Whenever you attack a creature with Mary and another legendary creature, draw a card. This is not partners with.
Oh, wait, draw a card with
when another legendary creature.
C. Maybe.
If Esper Sentinel was legendary. What other legendaries do you have in that lower slot, I guess? You're not going to run Rockrak in the deck or anything. You might run Arden, though. Arden's good in the 99. Like, I like the free equipment, or the, put equipment on. Mary Warden of Isengard. So generic and Selesnya. It pairs with Pippin Warden of Isengard. 1/4 body. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. This ability triggers only once each turn. And the Warden of Isengard for Golgari, so you are in Abzan here, is a 2/2. You can pay 1 and tap to create a food token, sacrifice 4 food tokens. Other creatures you control get +3/+3 in haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. The haste enabling is kind of cool. The fact that you can only make a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink once each turn hampers it.
Yeah.
Look, if you could make an army of 1/1s and then give them haste, like obviously this is good, right? It solves the Selesnya issue, and you're in black, so you have all the great tutors. But once per turn, like this is very much a build around. Man, you could play this. You could play this casually.
Yes, D or C.
Just because I don't want to do them too dirty. I'll put them. I'll put them down into C. Fine.
Yeah.
We'll even say fun C. I don't know how well this will actually pop off, and maybe you guys can correct me, but I don't feel like it'll be that good. They are like low CMC.
Question: how many more do we have?
I know we're getting there.
I think we need to even speed up the C section too.
Yeah. Oh, so at this point, no C's, no D's.
I think so. Yeah, there are like so many. Like you can't even see them anymore.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Let's go. Monstrosity of the Lake. 4 generic and a blue. 4/6 body. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 5. If you do, tap all creatures your opponents control, then put a stun counter on each of those creatures. Island cycling 2. D. Old Man Willow. This is my reveal card. It's 2 generic and a Golgari for star. Its power is equal to the number of lands you control. That's cool. Whenever Old Man Willow attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or token. When you do, target creature and opponent controls gets -2 until the end of turn. I made this. I think we piloted to a turn 2 win, but I was just doing Golgari stuff. Like it wasn't really attributed to Old Man Willow. That can be said. Yeah, that can honestly be said of any deck in Golgari, though. It's fine. You get Culling Ritual. That's cool. Peregrine Chook for 2 generic and a green, 2/3 body. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional food token are created instead. There is a combo here. It requires 4 cards.
Whenever one or more tokens would be created.
I'm sorry, sacrifice 3 food tokens, draw a card. That's what you're really into this for.
Yeah. I think this is like B almost.
Gilded Drake stealing might be fun with a bird. Yeah, actually, Scorpion.
One or more tokens would be created under your control. Those.
Thank you for that suggestion. That would be fun.
I could see B on this guy, but if not B, then go C.
I'm happy to go C. If one or more tokens would be it gives you. I don't like it, like food tribal deck.
I don't think you're going food tribal, because if one or more tokens would be created, it just triggers on tokens. So it doesn't matter. It's actually any token.
One or more. Yeah. It's dope, and then it's draw or life gain, which could be relevant if you're getting hit a lot, like Sarah's Ascendants are real. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. I like it.
I like it.
Guard of the Citadel, Pippin, Azorius, 2/2, Vigilance, Ward 1. Tap. Another target creature you control gains protection from the card type of your choice until end of turn. Thoughts? I was reading that long comment. Brian, I'll read that out. This discussion is exactly how me and my play groups discuss during spoiler season. I usually like Pat interested in the bestest cards only, while my friend being like Mon's creativity rules. Yeah, I mean, I brew creatively. I'll brew within the confines of a color, but generally speaking, when it comes to cEDH, they're just like tried and true strategies for each color. So kind of adhere to those. Personally speaking, I prefer legendaries that make you think differently about the build. And there aren't too many from this set that really involve creativity. Like Aragorn the Uniter, there's no creativity involved in that. You just, and I think arguably a lot of people would point to that as one of the better legendaries from this set, and it's just okay. And this is just okay.
D.
Yeah. Prince Imrahil the Fair. Oh, he is quite fair. 2/2 body, 1 hour. It's Azorius. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. That's right. Get that.
D.
Quick Beam, upstart, end for 4 generic, double green, 5/6 body. That's a big boy. Whenever Quick Beam or another Tree Folk enters the battlefield under your control, up to 2 target creatures get +2/+2 in trample until end of turn.
D.
Radagast the Brown for 2 generic, double green, 2/5 Avatar Wizard. When Radagast the Brown or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's mana value. You may reveal a creature that doesn't share a creature type with a creature. It's so wordy. I'm just gonna say D here already. It's in mono green. You're revealing a card. You put it into your hand. Is my qualm. If you could put it onto the battlefield for as much as this is demanding, then maybe it's worth looking at. But no.
I think the next Radagast is also sadly B. Beast and birds you control have ward.
Right. No. It's cute. I would say this is maybe fits into the build around C territory, but not even like a fun C. A fun C.
Yeah.
Rosie Cotton of South Lane is actually quite good as a combo card in the 99. So for 2 generic and a white 1/1 body halfling peasant, when Rosie Cotton of South Lane enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you create a token, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control other than Rosie. So this Scurry Oak. So there's a 2-card combo with Scurry Oak where you make infinite squirrels and an infinitely large Scurry Oak. There's also Herding Baloth that makes tokens as well. You just have an army of tokens and then a Rosie Cotton and then the biggest creature in the world. There are other combos here. This could easily slot into like a Marath list or a Agave or Gave list, however you want to pronounce that. By itself, it's fine, but there are 2-card combos.
Sure. C, I guess, in that case, like, I don't know.
It's a C, but I'm not going to push anyone to like play it.
Yeah.
It's a very specific, like a build around C. You're not going to include Rosie in every deck, but it is important to note that she, if you care about +1/+1 manipulation, does the thing. We're going to move this over. Okay. Sam Loyal Lieutenant we touched on. Samwise Gamgee might just be the best Protean Hulk pile card. For Selesnya 2/2, Halfling Peasant, whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token. Sacrifice 3 food tokens, return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. So the pile, if you want to do this, is Protean Hulk, sacrificed obviously, gets you Samwise Gamgee, Cauldron Familiar, Viscera Seer, Grand Abolisher. Sacrifice, you're able to sacrifice Cauldron Familiar. You've generated a lot of food tokens just putting them on the battlefield. Sacrifice a food token to get the cat back. Cat enters, make a food token, sacrifice the cat. So it's really cool in Hulk piles. It's very trim. I don't know how...
Ultimately, I like it, but it's... I don't think we can go like... I like a B or C. I could... if, like, I want to say this. Outside of that combo you talked about, in the future they're gonna make more food generations,
right?
Similar to Dockside. Like imagine them printing something that does what Dockside do, but instead they're making food tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I can see this being better in the future. So I kind of want to say B on this guy. But it's like a future proofing, so to say. Like the ability to sacrifice free food tokens, return target store card from your graveyard to your hand is good. But it's not like great now, and there are some gimmicky things you can do with it, but I think it's ability that should be respected, so to say. It's an ability we should consider in the future. It's something like this is the card you should remember, basically.
No, I agree with you. There are always cards that come up in sets where it's like, you know, it has potential, or there is a play line for it and will only grow or gain on that. I think this is one of them, and it's only 2 CMC. Like, it's that recovery effect you just can't ignore. Obviously, it is hindered by the fact that they're non-token creatures, but I think for a majority of cEDH players, like you'll get the triggers elsewise. It's solid. I like it a lot.
I think we can put it in B, actually, to be honest. Like it's something that could show up in some Hulk pile cEDH games because of gimmicky strategies, and B is like in that area.
Right. And I don't know. I think it's one of the best Protean Hulk piles. You guys can correct me, but it's one of the most trim. And the fact that you can throw in a Grand Abolisher while you're doing it, like if they didn't stop you already, then there won't be stopping you later. So it's quite good. And those are cards you would want to run anyways, practically, for the pile.
Yeah.
Samwise the Stout-Hearted for a generic and a white 2/1 halfling peasant. When Samwise enters the battlefield, choose one target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. The ring tempts you. Sam has flash. It's recovery at instant, right? Asterix. That had to be removed this turn. We have cards like Brought Back that do the same thing, and Brought Back isn't used. It is double white, mind you. It's fine. The ring tempts you. That's legit if your deck cares about it.
It feels like there's a combo that actually works pretty good with this. So, like, this is a card you could actually play. But like C, but maybe B.
I'm cool with C if that was your initial reaction.
Yeah.
I'm cool with C. Like, he's really not bad, but there is a lot of tech in white that you could use. Like, you wouldn't necessarily put this in over anything else, but it's only 2 CMC to do, so that's really not that. It's not that horrible. Sorry, I have to scoot these over. Okay, that's good. Yes, Scorpion. It is part of a Protean Hulk pile. Okay. Theradoc, Master of Buckland. I think I can say that this is a D already, but it's a 2/4 Master of Buckland or another non-token creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control. Create a 1/1 halfling creature token. Tap 2 other untapped halflings you control. Sardoc gets +2/+0 and lifelink until end of turn. So when it ETBs, it creates the halfling. It's 4 CMC.
D. It's so expensive.
Let's
look at Saruman.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Saruman, honestly.
We have actually play tested him, and he's very expensive.
Yeah.
But he is fun.
Here, just give your impression. I feel like we mostly know what this does, audience, but you can read it. It's on screen now. But yeah, let me know your impressions of this card.
When you cast your second, your face is actually in front of it.
What?
There we go.
When
you cast, each opponent mills 2 cards. When one or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment instant sorcery card with Okay, actually, we need to explain this one a little bit better, because when you read this, it's a little bit like confusing. So when you cast your second spell, you will start to mill your opponents.
Right.
After you have milled your opponents, you can cast something from that graveyard with a CMC equal or lower to the spell you cast, which means that you can cast something that was already there in the graveyard before the mill. So you don't have to only cast the thing they milled. In the end, that ability is amazing, because you can steal Unwell Breach, and that's great. There's even a strategy where you like cast Brain Freeze on one of your opponents. You hit their brain Unwell Breach, and then you just breach and win, so to say. The big problem with this guy is that he is very, very expensive. Like 6 mana is a lot.
It is.
So because of that, we can't like put him too high. But the ability is very strong. And it's also very fun. Like I kind of want to fight for this guy to be in A,
Right.
But I don't think he can go above B because of the mana cost, basically.
I almost feel like I need to hear your opinion of Sauron the Dark Lord to help me. I feel like it's the other 6 CMC, but Grixis.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Right, but they both have like really gnarly ward abilities. Clearly, Saruman's ward ability helps to fuel his actual triggered effect. I love the idea of utilizing your own brain freeze on an opponent. You said you wanted
Saruman's. No, yeah, but B. I don't think we can put this in A. We have playtested this commander, and I don't think it goes above B.
That's a shame. It's really cool, though. I agree. I do understand what you're saying. It being too costly. Like, the game could end by the time you get Saruman out, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I think I'll end the Lotho poll now just to move Lotho. But we got 62% say A tier. All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. Go with that. That's fine. We need to fill out the gaps. We've got a handful more to go through, and luckily, a lot of these are going to fit into D. So, Saruman the White for 4 generic and a blue, Ward 2, 4/4 body, Avatar Wizard. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, amass 2 orcs. D. For 5?
D.
Yeah. For 5? D. No. Saruman the White for generic and a Grixis for 2/5 Avatar Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, amass orcs X, where X is the spell's mana value. Goblins and orcs you control have Ward 2, so you're protecting the amassed army.
At D.
Yeah, it's also a D. I mean, just being in Grixis is not enough. Where's my S card? We don't have it yet. Sauron, Lord of the Rings for 8 mana, 5 generic and Grixis, 9/9. Whenever you cast this spell, amass orcs 5, mill 5 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Trample. Whenever a commander an opponent controls dies, the ring tempts you.
D.
Just the cost of this guy is so bad. But I really so this is the one I'm curious to hear your opinions on. I like the Dark Lord a bit. I don't know how it'll actually perform. So for 3 generic and Grixis, 7/6 body, Avatar Horror, Ward, sacrifice a legendary artifact or creature. So it's virtually untouchable, right? We'll see who wants to do that. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass orcs 1. I feel like that can get out of hand. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. We all know the ring tempting you is good. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards.
This guy is actually really good. He's definitely not S tier, but he is definitely A tier. 100%.
Mm-hmm. He's A tier as in a tier or A tier?
Like the sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature is something people can't always do.
Right.
You need to have like your commander in play to be able to do that usually, unless you have a Mox Opal, which actually could like theoretically happen. So there are ways when you actually get to kill him, but he is actually pretty much protected usually because he is hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me put it like this: sometimes people aren't able to kill him. Mm-hmm. He will make an army usually really effectively big. You cast him, you usually get a 6/6 or a 9/9. He gets like that orc army gets huge. So you have a plan B beatdown. Like he's a 6/7/6 himself, but the orc army will usually be humongous, like really big. I'm talking big. You usually have someone you can attack into. Yeah. So you can like discard your entire hand, draw 4 cards. You're on Grixis color entities here. That's like perfect. You're on the best colors. So you draw into Undual Breach eventually. Or you draw into Razaketh and you reanimate Razaketh from the graveyard.
Oh, I like that. I like Razaketh, especially when your opponents are trying to cast spells against you. You're just amassing orcs to sacrifice to Razaketh.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
We have actually seen that happen. We have a gameplay where that happened. Literally, that was crazy.
I am with you on A for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we can go up to S because he's just a little bit too expensive.
Right. I would probably encourage you just to play Tymna Crom and incorporate white, and like that's better in these colors. But so far as Grixis is concerned, with those effects, like it's not bad at all. And it technically does it has draw, provided you get in with an army, right? And then you can, because I don't think the ring tempting you is going to be, you're probably not running anything like that in your deck. So we're probably relying on the army to do damage, right? But
well, when the army connects for us, like when the ring connects to a second ring temptation second, you get to draw and discard on your attack. So you're basically looting for 5 on the ability instead of 4. So yeah, there's something there.
I'm happy with A for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to get an S. Sorry, guys. So this is the one that was played against me the other night. The 1 mana short team. The Lidless Eye for 3 generic and Rakdos 4/4 body. Enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Okay, less important. It's generic and Rakdos. Creatures you control get +2/+0, and then each opponent loses 2 life. So the idea here is make infinite mana and burn everyone out. It's fine. I think there are just... It's fine. I don't think that you're going to play this out too often, but the gaining control of target creature until end of turn is kind of legit. Like, you'll probably take a Tymna, for being honest, and then get some draw off of that, potentially.
Nah, this is D. It's very expensive. Gain control target creature. Nah, bad.
Yeah. I mean, with infinite mana, yes, you can win the game. But
yeah.
I don't like World Gorger Dragon loops, and Dockside is the only other option there, so it's okay. Sauron the Necromancer, 3 generic and double black, 4/4. When it attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. Create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 3/3 black wraith with menace. At the beginning of your next end step, exile token until unless Sauron is your ring bearer. Huh. Well,
nah.
There's no temptation on the card itself. It's 5, and it's slow. It has menace, so I feel like, well, you just need to attack. I don't like it.
A C. Basically, you can reanimate creatures here and there, like a C.
I like it.
Casual reanimator deck, pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it for C for sure. I think that's fair for the Sauron. I'll move some cards over at the end of this. Don't worry, guys. Shadowfax, Lord of Horses, 3 Benaboras, 4/4 horse. Horses you control have haste. When Shadowfax, Lord of Horses attacks, you may put a creature card with lesser power from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. I like this a lot just because I like Shadowfax. I can't say that it's great though. It's really cool, like Boros Staxy sort of thing, or creatures that ETB and do things. Obviously, if you do any sort of equipment or combat trick, you could potentially shit out something really big. But
I like flavor 10 out of 10.
For sure.
I think this goes into the funsies. Like C for fun.
Yeah. No, I like that. I want to brew a version of this deck. I feel like I would enjoy playing it. I can't say it's going to be that good, but I would enjoy playing it for sure. I'm going to make room for these in a second. Oh, no. Move these over. I don't know if I can, like, mass select. There we go. Gotta move all of these over like that.
I think we have to stop adding the C in there too, because there are just too many right now as well.
Right. We're at there's only 1 card on the back end here, I think, and Witch King of Angmar, which I think is probably a D. Sorry. But yeah, I'm with you. We're nearing the end of the list here. Shagrat Loot Bearer, 2 generic and Rakdos 4/4. Loot Bearer attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment to it, then amass Orcs X, where X is the number of equipment attached to Shagrat. It's a D. It's cute that Rakdos is trying to do the equipment thing, though.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it's just C at best. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really not awful. I mean, don't we wish it had haste? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it's C. It's up there with Sauron. Sure.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. It's definitely Sauron.
I can see this actually making a really huge army eventually and punching someone really hard, but in the end, I think it's like C.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know some people like this card when we did the set review. We weren't altogether too high on it, though. Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire, for 2 generic and Dimir, 2/4. Activate abilities of lands your opponent's control can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Sharky Tyrant has all active abilities of lands your opponent's control except mana abilities. Mana of any type can be spent to activate set abilities. It's fine. It's interesting stacks in Dimir. You shut off fetch lands, I think, is like the big idea. Technically, you could shut off a strip mine if that's like a concern of yours. Sharky is a strip mine. Sharky is a arid mesa. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a.
I mean, if we were in a format where this was an actual good stacks ability, he would be like amazing.
Right.
So this is like a card you should like remember and have in your collection, depending on your meta. If you have a meta where you're stealing very key things from your opponents, then he's absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he's like D, because what are you gonna steal? Like in casual, no one can really afford the really cool expensive things, and in cEDH, no one plays them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think he's D.
I'm with you on D, on Sharky. Now, Shelob is one I know there was some interest in. I think it was this one. Child of the Lion? 4 generic and Golgari, 8/8 Spider Demon, Death Touch, Ward 2. Other spiders you control have Death Touch and Ward 2. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with, food abilities. It loses all other card types, but it doesn't notably lose its abilities. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It loses all other card types, but it's a food token. Create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with 2 tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. And it loses other card types.
Wait, you can gain creature activated abilities on a food. This is gonna be a weird food token.
Right. Like, so like, I mean, I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind at Thrasios, but that's kind of cool.
So it's just a little bit too expensive. So like C or D, but yeah.
I will say D for that. It is expensive.
Yeah, D. Very.
Yeah, there's other decks you should play, like Old Man Willow.
Yeah.
Shelob, Dreadweaver for 3 generic and a black, 3/3 body. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, exile it. That's kind of cool. Grave Hate. For 2 generic and a black, put a creature card exiled with Shelob, Dreadweaver into its owner's graveyard. Put 2+1/+1 counters on Shelob, draw a card. So it becomes a 5/5 after that. And then further and further. X, generic and a black, put target creature card with a mana value of X. Value X exiled with Shelob onto the battlefield tapped under your control. And this can happen at instant speed. Put target creature card with mana value X exiled with Shelob onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It's cool. It's like if you need draw, you have draw. Mind you, a lot of the reanimate effects will work on your opponent's graveyards too. So you could just, if you have...
I think this is like a B in the end. Like it's a very strange and like a very C. Like here, it's power creep. We have better cards. It's a good effect, but power creep C.
Yeah, I agree. I think the chat is saying it'll be strong and casual. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think C is perfect for it.
I agree. So you've actually played this deck, if I'm not mistaken. This is Smeagol Helpful Guide. For generic and a Golgari, 4/2 Halfling Horror. I won't read off the effect. Just tell me your thoughts on it. Curious.
So first thing first, this creature is doing something really bad. Milling your opponents inside cEDH is not something you want to do, because that will fuel your opponents a lot. Like, you don't want that. That's you will help them. However, if you suddenly start to play like anti-graveyard effects, that's really good because people want to have their graveyard. So if you have a Daffy Voidwalker, Voidwalker is great in this current format. And if you're milling them now with a Daffy Voidwalker in play, it actually becomes like you're destroying your opponent's decks. And that's like you're doing something good to do something bad into good. So there's something for him. So I've actually played him. And the truth is that it's a little bit too slow because you don't really get going until like turn 3. And the first time you do this, not much is happening. So in the end, I have to put him like B or C. It's really fun. But you need something like this. If you have Bloodgust, Skull Clamp, Daffy Voidwalker in play, and this guy, you're having fun.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that just have your opening hand have to be really good for you to get there.
Do you
So in
run
the
like Leyline of the Void,
yeah, around
Planar Void, and Dothy Voidwalker, like any exile from your opponent's graveyard for sure?
all of them, every single one, and more.
Yeah, you said B.
B or C.
This could make for like a fun stacks commander. Were you running like a lot of stacks outside of the Grave Hate?
Yeah, Dampening Sphere, Sphere of Resistance, Thorn of Amethyst. Yeah, all of it.
All right. Yeah.
In the end, I think B or C. But he is almost like if he had a lower CMC mana cost, if he would actually exile things instead, then he would be beautiful.
Right. He would be much, yeah. Because you do need to. But it's like a build around B. I don't hate this. Yeah, that makes sense because the effect is good. But you're absolutely right. Like Underworld Breach is so prevalent. Any mill strategy.
It's not just that. There are so many different graveyards. Like people are Yawgmoth's Will and Sevin's Reclamation and other things too. So there's like more than that. Reanimation, Animate Dead, Woodgorger Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your own reanimate strategy, then sure. Like hitting the reanimator list is actually kind of cool for you because you might pull something from theirs that you need, like a Razaketh if you have a Razaketh liners. I mean, if you're running Orcish Bowmasters, you have a Razaketh line. Let me just put it that way. Yeah. It's fine. I like it. I like it in B. Strider, not gonna take too much time on him. 2 generic, Gruul, 4/4 body, landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then if a creature has 4 or greater power, it gains first strike. D for deeply sad. The Balrog, Durin's Bane. These are gonna be pretty sad too. For 5 generic in Rakdos, 7/5 Avatar Demon. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this turn. Treasures, I guess. Haste. The Balrog, Durin's Bane can't be blocked except by legendary creatures. Cool. When Balrog dies, destroy target artifact or creature an opponent controls. It is hitting for 7, but
he's so expensive.
Yeah. Well, you sacrifice your Arid Mesa or your whatever to get your Badlands. And then that's one thing sacrificed.
I think he's D, honestly. Like Dargo is the same thing but better.
Dargo is much better. You can mess up your opponent's top deck tutors, which is kind of cool with Smeagol, I'm assuming. Maybe, yeah.
Yes, but
Balrog got done so bad he did. Because Balrog Flame of Udin is pretty bad too. 3 generic in Rakdos, 7/7 body, trample. Whenever a legendary creature an opponent controls dies, put the Balrog on the bottom of its owner's library.
Bad. I
don't think I saw this one. The Balrog of Moria, 4 generic and black red, 8/8 Avatar Demon, trample haste. When Balrog of Moria dies, you may exile it. When you do, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. It has cycling of 3 and a red. When you cycle the Balrog, create 2 treasure tokens.
So the cycling strategy is not really a thing yet. I wanted to be because it's really cool. So I have to say that this is a card you should probably like remember and just have in your knowledge when cycling might become a thing.
Right.
Because there are a few cards that could make the cycling strategy actually work.
Are they mostly in blue though? Like there's a lot of I know there's like a
mostly are in blue, but we're like if you're doing this, you're doing it in like a 4-5 color identity.
And you'll just have all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't work right now. So D. Actually, maybe C. There are. If you're gonna make the cycling deck, you can make it into casual. So in the end, C. This would be
C for cycling.
C for cycling. Yes.
C for cycling. I can agree with that. That's fair. And I like looking at this for its prospective future because there is a lot of cool cycling stuff out there. We're gonna move some of these over. Damn, so many legends. Okay. Oh, bottom of the list. The Gaffer for 2 generic and a white, 2/3 halfling peasant. Why no flash on Balrog? I don't know. He cost enough. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, draw a card. Food tribal.
Yeah, its entire set is food tribal.
I know. Thoughts? D. Okay. Yeah. The Mouth of Sauron. The Mouth of Sauron looked so much cooler in the films. For 3 generic and a Dimir, 3/4 human advisor. When the Mouth of Sauron enters the battlefield, target player mills 3 cards, right? Then amass Orcs X, where X is the number of instants or sorcery cards in that player's graveyard. The player milling can be you, but you're looking at a card that cost 5 to cast. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
Nice.
D as well?
D.
C?
Yeah, D.
Oh, okay.
Nah, D.
Okay. Theoden, King of Rohan, for a generic and a Boros. 2/3 human noble. When Theoden and Rohan, another human enters the battlefield under control, target creature gains double strike until end of turn.
D.
D for devastating.
D for definitely D.
Yeah. The Watcher in the Water. I like this one. There's some cool stuff you can do with it, but I don't know if it's going to get there. 3 generic, double blue, 9/9. The Watcher in the Water enters with 9 stun counters on it. That's a lot, people. Whenever you draw a card during an opponent's turn, create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. Whenever a tentacle you control dies, untap up to 1 target Kraken and put a stun counter on up to 1 target non-land permanent. A lot going on here. So there are combos with this. If you have looters and a sack outlet, there's a 3-card combo with this. I forget the exact line. I've actually made a video on this. I think this week we'll discuss it as like a honorable mention as a combo. It does require that the stun counters on it be off of it, so it's slow. But you can effectively control a board by tapping everything down, non-land things down.
I don't think we can put this higher than D or C though.
Oh no, it's a D. I think it's a D.
Yeah.
it's so much work. But yeah. It's really cool. I like fun, unique ways of building, but in mono blue, it's really rough to like get there. Tom Bombadil, 5 colors. This must be S tier. For 4/4. So it's Wooburg. 4/4, God Bard. That's right, a god. As long as there are 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom Bombadil has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card, put that card in the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. Is this S tier?
I wish it was, but no. It's like C, definitely C.
Yeah.
This is like the C fun part. Like he's not good, but he's so cool. It will be a very fun deck. Like this will be a commander I would like to play, so to say. No, I don't think I want to build it because I don't want to go and like find all the sagas. I'm not that much into sagas. Right. But if someone had this, I would like to can I borrow your Tom Bombadil saga deck? And yeah, that could be fun.
Right, and they'll give it to you because, I don't think there are that many sagas that are of actual monetary value, but it's cool. It's one of the first legendaries that exclusively cares about sagas. Am I mistaken? So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm really happy they made him 5 colors because this is like one of the strongest characters that actually shows up in the book. Yeah,
no, I agree. I built Tom deck. It's actually quite fun, but not the strongest, obviously. Well, Jay, you go Josh Holmes. A fun C for sure. Treebeard, I love Treebeard. Gracious Host, 2 generic and Selesnya, 0/5 body. Trample, Ward 2. When Treebeard enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Get that gaffer out. When you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on target halfling or tree folk.
D is just a big stompy creature.
D, sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Ugluk, the white hands for 2 generic and Rakdos, 3/3. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on Ugluk. If that creature was a goblin or orc, put 2 +1/+1 counters.
D, Ugluk. That sounds ugly. It's ugly, so no.
Yeah. D for the name. Witch King, Bringer of Ruin. For 4 generic, double black, 5/3, Wraith, Noble, Flying. Whenever Witch King, Bringer of Ruin attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature with the least power among creatures they control.
D.
Yeah. No living man may hinder me. This is for Kiora for sure. Oh, the Watcher? I could maybe see that. Sure. What do you think, Mons? Pass? Passez-vous? D?
On Witch King?
On Witch King. This king.
Oh no, nah.
This one here.
Nah, bad.
Last D. Witch King.
So expensive.
All right, guys, our final card. Did we make it to S tier? Witch King of Angmar, 3, double black, 5/3, Wraith Noble, flying. Whenever one or more creatures deals combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt damage to you this turn. The ring tempts you. That's right. Stop hitting me. Discard a card. Witch King of Angmar gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Man.
No.
So much
bad.
text. So much text for a mythic rare to be this bad.
Yeah.
There's just no reason for me to want to play this. Yeah. It's bad. That's such a shame. But that does conclude our list. So there would be a lot more, in case you were jumping in late, there would be a lot more cards in the D tier. But we had to refrain because we were
overfilling it.
Yes, the D tier was overfilled. Bear in mind that all of these choices were selected based off of their viability in the 99 as much as their viability in the command zone. And I think this is fair. The little group you see off to the side here, these are cards that are meant specifically for fun build around. Like they're just decks you're going to enjoy playing for whatever reason, you know, social, political, or just for theme. But yeah, I think this is accurate. There weren't really any S tier cards from this set, legendaries, I should say. Which is a shame.
LOTR was a consideration,
right?
So to say.
No. I agree with you. It was the closest one for sure because the effect is really potent.
I guess we will see in the future. Like a big thing about these like discussions on card reviews in general is that it's all theoretical, and the playtesting will showcase truth, so to say.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Are you gonna put Lotho? Which among these are you planning on like buying or building out?
A Lotho and creature that untaps 2 legendaries, basically.
I'm excited to hear like how well Lotho performs for you. I do agree. I think it's great. I'm excited to build it as the commander. Again, I don't know how effective that's gonna be. It's just meant to do like things quickly, but I feel like it's probably better in the 99. They missed the mark so bad on my Lego boys. The set has some bangers in the 99 cards though. They missed the mark on Legolas. Yeah, Legolas was pretty bad. Sorry it didn't make the list. But Mons, thanks for joining me on this. This is, again, you know, these always go longer than we anticipate because there has to be some conversation involved. But I really appreciate you hanging out with me and the audience for this one.
It was great. Thanks for letting me come and join.
Yeah, for sure.
Had fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get some gameplay in. I know our time zones are radically different, so I'm just glad this worked out today for us. But yeah. I appreciate you joining us. Guys, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like, share it with all your friends. Visit cEDH TV. There's great content over on there. I'll plug Mons for him so he doesn't have to. But honestly, though, like the gameplay is some of the best online. So if you haven't checked out his channel, I'll be sure to leave a link for you guys in the comments so you can check it out. But I'll post this to our community.
You should leave the game where you enjoyed and played.
Oh, the worst game of my life.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh my god.
Not.
That's so bad. The games I had the other day, Mons, with Oswald in the One Ring. So gross. I drew 15 cards between 2 turns. Like, the insanity amount of draw, and no one could really handle it. Like, there wasn't a chain of vapor in sight. It was like, it was so nice. But yes, more gameplay in the future. Hopefully we'll have Mons out, and I'll leave a link. But thanks, guys, for joining us on this one. We'll see you in the next one. Happy brewing, babies. Let's